Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Today's going to be, well, just a Friday stream. I'll explain in a little bit why I decided to do it this way, but welcome to the Friday stream. I did not want to break tradition here. I've been on every Friday for a while now, so even today, even if I was a little bit under the weather, even if I had a little bit of side butthole bleh, going on this week and didn't really have time to watch much or didn't really have time to catch up on most, to isolate a topic for said podcast on Friday, it doesn't fucking matter, because I need to come out here. People are getting sick of me. They're getting sick of hearing me talk. Seriously, I'm walking down the street, I'm stopping outside of stores and waiting for people to come out just to have discussions and yell at them randomly, because I've been so pent up. A buddy of mine came by here for a quick 2 seconds. I'm yelling at him and going about nothing, about literally nothing, about just babbling. And he's like, what the fuck's going on? I go, I haven't podcasted since Sunday. It's hurtful. So I'm just kind of going to be babbling for a very little bit here. I know I always say it, but this will be a shorter stream than most on a Friday, but I'm going to be talking a little bit about Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is coming up this Sunday, the premiere episode. I want to kind of recap and go through the series so far, give some general thoughts about the season so far leading into this premiere of the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, I tried to say. And we're going to be recapping and reviewing it at 10:30, October 1st, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself and The Walking David. So I'll talk a little bit about that. I have a random Game of Thrones question I was asked by the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Nymeria that I have from Skype, and then kind of go to the live motherfucking chat, see if you guys have any quick questions you want to ask about any show or any movie or anything. But guess what? I'm not alone. I'm never alone when I have with me some of the best, some of the beautiful, some of the wonderful, the amazing, the fucking piece of loving desire. I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say there, but lots of love and go hug yourself to everybody in the live motherfucking chat. There you are, everyone in the live motherfucking chat. We have OTA, we have Cardinal, we have Ian, we have Vala Morgolis, we have Jimmy, we have the bloody fucking talker. I did not catch Orville episode 4 yet. I was saying that at the very beginning of this stream. I've been kind of sick and dragging ass a lot this week. I mean, let's say I'm, sorry, I gotta turn off that music. It's fucking distracting me. I've been a little under the weather this week. I'd say it was probably about 60% something real and 40% of crybaby-itis. I had a good amount of crybaby-itis this week. And I was just, my throat hurts, my fucking dick hurts, my eyes hurt. So a lot of my time this week was spent just kind of chilling and relaxing and catching up on some other shit I have to do. So I haven't had a chance to watch the Orville. I'm going to watch that tonight. What I think I'm going to be doing from now on with Orville and Star Trek Discovery, just as a quick announcement, is I'm going to be doing, at least for the temporary future, doing reviews for both those shows on Mondays. So what I'm going to be doing is this coming Monday, I will, either the night or the afternoon, I'm not sure of the time period yet, I'll be talking about the new episode of Discovery when I get a chance to watch it. Maybe that might get pushed off to a Tuesday, but for the most part, it'll be in that early part of the week. And then on that day, I will talk about the past week's Orville too, and kind of make mention of it. Occasionally maybe do Orville only casts as time goes on, but Star Trek, so I'm gonna, if people are gonna choose to like one or the other, I'm gonna make it difficult for you. I'm gonna fucking put both shows in the same fucking podcast block and talk about what I like about both of them. So I'm just gonna make things even worse. Cause God, fuck knows I never make anything better. So I think that's how I'm gonna end up doing those for the remainder of the seasons of those shows. Sundays are going to be Curb Your Enthusiasm until Walking Dead starts. And then when The Walking Dead starts, then I'm going to have to shift everything again. But for the first couple of weeks here, this Monday or Tuesday, I'll be on to talk about Orville and the most recent Discovery episode. And Sunday will be Curb Your Enthusiasm, and then Friday will be something else, and maybe in the middle as well, too. Anyways, let's jump in the live motherfucking chat. Oh, we got Scout Teeny in the live motherfucking hangout, live motherfucking chat right now. Scout helping me through a very serious situation yesterday, so I gotta send Scout some love for what he's dealing with and for being there for me in a difficult situation. So lots of love, Scout. Hi, Phil, on my Attack on the Titan hype music. Ian, what's good? And hello, how's it going, everybody? Great to see everyone. Phil, did I watch Orville episode 4? No, I did not. I liked Orville. Rick and Morty's season ends every Sunday. Side butthole. Are there different race of children, and are they behind everything? Oh, the children of the forest. Are you talking about the children of the forest in the Game of Thrones sense? Are they behind everything? I know there's a lot of other Game of Thrones people that have a lot of really interesting theories to do with the children. I think essentially they are behind everything because they created the White Walkers. Do I think that necessarily they were an evil force against man and created this as a way to battle against man? I'm not sure, and I think a lot of that should be explored in prequel series that were yet to come, but I do think there's smoke in there. There's enough smoke in there that there potentially could be fire, in the sense of no puns intended there. No ice and fire puns intended. But I do think it's not completely the most outrageous thing I've ever heard to think that the children had something to do with everything. Or have something to do with everyone. Hey, Garrick. Great to see you, buddy. Hey, Phil, on my way to an appointment, but wanted to say hi in the motherfucking chat and all the wonderful people in here. Hopefully I'll catch the tail end. Thank you so much, and thank you for the awesome comment that you left in the Discovery review. Had fun reading that and reading lots of people's thoughts on Discovery, which is getting definitely mixed reviews. I know Orville's been out for a little while longer. I think we're a little bit more established in what it is. I have not seen episode 4, but I expect there to be good and average and maybe some poor episodes of Orville because it's going to be individual stories. It's not necessarily going to be an overarching story arc, which I think is good for the type of show it is, and it's good to have a Star Trek show like this. I'm so Kool-Aid drinking the Deep Space Nine of it all, hence behind me, that to me Trek feels better when it's long form, when it's more serialized and long form stories. But I was talking to someone said in the comment section, and I was talking to somebody else that was saying that they don't like Star Trek that's like that. They like Star Trek that's more episodic, week to week. They don't even like television that's serialized. They said that should be saved for a miniseries. And I had to really stop and think about this. And first of all, they were wrong, but no, I mean, I had to really take in what they were saying there. And because it was someone I trusted their opinions, and they were telling me that, yeah, television shows, I really don't like overarching storylines because then I have to tune in each week. Then if I miss an episode, I'm fucked. Or I'll watch the scenes for next week or the next episode and get spoiled for things that happened the episode before or whatever, if it's a slightly different sort of thing. So they enjoy, especially Star Trek, something that's episodic. So they're enjoying at the beginning here more of the Orville than they are Discovery. And that's a perfectly rational reason of saying it. I think why, and I'm enjoying both because I like both equally. I think a good single one-off episode of a TV show can be special. And I think in Deep Space Nine, they even have some one-off episodes, and in some, The Sopranos and Oz, and even less so in something like Game of Thrones, and less so in some other shows like the Netflix universe. But I think even in Game of Thrones, like Blackwater or something like that, or the Battle of the Wall, could be seen as a singular story in and out kind of episode, and that you wouldn't necessarily need to know too much. You could get everything you needed in that moment from what you were seeing in the episode. I mean, it's still a part of a bigger story arc, but you can plug it in there as a single episode and show someone this is what Game of Thrones is. But I think it's not made like that. But a show that's made like that can still be great. A lot of times on this channel, I so drink the Kool-Aid of serialized television that I act like I don't like episodic shit, and I do. And there was a whole generation of great television, you could say a high point of television that was done with that in mind, with everything just being tied up in one single episode. And I know everyone's not the biggest, fan of sitcoms, but I think there's some great sitcoms that are one-offs. Cheers is a show that I'm going to be talking about at some point pretty soon in the next Phil's favorite shows. I'm just doing yet another rewatch of Cheers. And I know some people don't like sitcoms, but if you do like sitcoms, Cheers is a great example of something that balances both. They can tell an overarching story that each season has its own overall arc, and you could say the whole thing has a couple of arcs as well, but it also makes each episode interesting. Star Trek Next Generation is maybe the best show ever at having one-off episodes and making them great. There's a Quantum Leap, but Quantum Leap was another one that combined them and was doing both at the same time. And I'd say a great show always does a little bit at a time. I think the problem you get nowadays is when you get shows that should be long form and they're episodic, or you get too used to one or the other and it becomes something a pattern you're familiar with. And I think in some ways, the reason why Orville feels really fresh to me at times watching it is because it's being creatively nostalgic. I didn't want to say nostalgia as a bad thing, but taking an era of television that doesn't exist anymore and creating something new in it. And some video games do this, where they take Link Between Two Worlds, Sonic Mania, games that take old style stuff and give you new spins on it with the new technology, with the new goodness that you can do and what you can really do with a video game or do with another creative piece of media. That's better than saying thing. Better than a thing. Let me scroll down because I've been missing some live motherfucking chat. Space Issues Monday with Orville and Discovery. Absolutely. Claudio, I haven't been able to join you for a while. Just stopping in to say fucking hi, motherfucker. Great to see you. Great to see all of you guys. Claudio. TV Overload Issues Program. Gotham and Supernatural Tuesdays. Lunchtime with Phil. Nymeria is in the live motherfucking chat. I'm actually going to be asking your question, Nymeria. I was saying that earlier. The Gifted Monday. I love everyone figuring out the names of my shows. Tuesday, The Flash. No, thank you, Scout. You're the fucking best, buddy. Good to see all of you guys this afternoon or evening. I need fucking better headphones because this train is a shitload of fuck. So is Star Trek Discovery any good? I enjoy it. I know some people are having some issues with it, both real and made up within themselves. But I think in general, it's a good show that good program that shows potential. And if you like Star Trek, there's enough there to tickle all your fancies. If you go in there wanting to hate it, you're probably going to hate it because there's enough in there to say, this is telling me things I don't want to hear. Ugh. Especially if you're not familiar with Trek history. So I don't know. I'd say if you haven't watched it yet and you're not itching to watch it like you're a Star Trek freak, wait till the whole season's done and binge watch it when it's all added to Netflix. It's not a must watch now for everybody. It's a must watch for some Star Trek fans that are willing to give it a shot. But whatever. So I wouldn't say if you're not a huge Star Trek fan, don't go out of your way to watch it. Wait and binge it. Hey, Al, Red Sox fan. Love you, buddy. That's where Aaron Slow is useful to tell you to be quiet. Bella McGross, message me on Hangouts. I've been through some serious medical issues. Better now, can relate. Lots of love to Scout. Fuck Orville besides the good side boob action. Good vibes for both Scout Teeny and Vala Morgores. I thought Orville would be funnier. It's not that funny. It takes itself way more serious. It's more like a subtle, humorous take on the Next Generation era. It's not so much a true... If you are a fan of Seth MacFarlane humor, you might feel somewhat wanting in this show in the humor department. It's more for satisfying Star Trek fans than it is for Family Guy, Ted, American Dad fans. At least in my approximation. And that's not to say it's not going to satisfy those people if they want something a little bit different, but the same sense of humor isn't used. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, Seth MacFarlane uses everything he does has the basic same sense of humor to it, or uses the same kind of jokes. And I would say even the people that don't like Orville have to give him credit for trying something new and trying a different kind of sense of humor that's, to use this word again, refreshing if you're sick of his shtick. Because he's at least trying something different with it. And whether it works for everybody is a different fucking story. I can't tell you it's going to fucking work for you. You know, shut the fuck up, Phil. Don't get your hand out of my brain. No, I'll get my fucking hand out of your brain. I can't tell you what to like and what not to like. So let's keep scrolling down. Let's keep fucking going down here. Going down, scrolling down. I am enjoying the Orville more. Episode 3 was really good. Not looked at episode 4. I liked episode 2 a little bit better than 3. Looking forward to seeing 4. From a couple people I heard talking about it say 4 isn't quite as good as 3. 3 was this watershed. People really liked 3. So, but what people need to understand, again, it's episodic. So not every episode is going to hit for every single person. It's going to be kind of a completely different story than it was, and not necessarily keep any of the same beats. It's why historically I like, long form stories better, because things build on each other. But we'll see how the show goes. Great. Andrea, great to see Andrea in there. Great, so excited for the Friday show. Saw the notification, got super fucking excited. Orville is adorable. It's a thing in its own. It's not Galaxy Quest. It's not Next Generation. Well said, Ian. Omen, great to see you. Everyone check out Omen's great Nintendo game streams lately. It's great to see so many awesome people. Lords of the Last Hearth is here. Scout motherfucking Teeny donated $5 for Super Chat. Thank you, Scout Teeny, who says, I look way too fucking sober. Here's the sandwiches. As usual, if you haven't tuned in on one of these things, we have Super Chat here on YouTube, and I really do appreciate everyone that gives us a Super Chat donation. And my little way of giving back for what you guys do is to spin this magic fucking wheel, and whatever it lands on, I gotta do, regardless of what it is. It's almost an automatic response. I don't have any choice. So let's spin the fucking wheel and see what Scout Teeny wins. Lots of love, Scout. Scroll down a little bit. Discovery has one silly problem. It's really a dark bridge. Turn on the lights. My one problem is a neck pinch out of context by a human. And I would add by a human. The dark thing, I think, is a way of overcorrecting some people's complaints about the JJ movies, that the bridge was too bright, too much like a Mac store or something. I think by making it a little bit more gritty, that's what they're trying to do. That being said, we've only had 2 episodes, and I know that I'm doing recaps right after an episode. It's all what I do, overreactions, good and bad. But ultimately, we haven't even seen the ship that the show is named after yet. We've seen the preview show. Essentially, what we've seen is the episode Emissary, if we're going by Deep Space Nine. He hasn't even got to the station yet. So what we're seeing starting with episode 3 is more probably what the show is going to be. Yes, we saw this whole intro. I'm not saying this isn't going to be indicative of the overall feel of the program. I just mean with things like how the ship looks, they might have spent no time and money lighting that thing because it was dead set walk-in. And everything that they're saving up for the Orville. I've heard a couple people complain about the captain's character development. Spoiler alert for Star Trek Discovery. Fast forward or pause for 10 seconds or 15 seconds or 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Be safe. Be safe. 1, 2, 3. Spoilers. Ho! The first episode of Discovery, the captain of the ship that Sasha is on dies. Or episode 2. She dies. So essentially, I've heard people complaining about the captain's acting, and okay, appreciate that, but the actor herself must have already known going in that she was a cameo at best. So essentially, I get to judge that part on cameo performance level, and on that note, she was all right, but our captain hasn't showed up yet. The person that is Jason Isaacs. He'll probably be in episode 3, I assume. And we'll see how his character feels before I judge, the captain sucks. You obviously didn't watch episode 2. Because in episode 2, it's a moot point. Okay, spoiler over with. Oh, Scout Teeny, it landed on your pick. So by your pick, I assume you want me to take a bite of a sandwich. Discovery has, let's keep scrolling. The question, Phil, are there Tribbles? Yes, Tribbles will be on the show. I've heard rumors of Tribbles will be on shows. Will Orville do their version of Tribble? Yes, 100%. They'll do something to that reference. Granted, Next Generation never did anything with them, and it's more of a Next Generation clone than anything, but I do think they're going to do something with them. Viper Orville, let's try something different. Yeah, I very much liked 4 more than 3, says Jimmy. Yes, it's serious at times. I'm so a fan of Orville. Felicia's in the live chat right now. Great to see Felicia. Great to see Nymeria. Great to see Iron Throne. The way they ended episode 3 was very adult for the TV network. Adult as mature, not sexy adult. Scout says, Phil, you missed my super chat. No, I didn't. I spun it and I'm catching up. You got your pick. I'm just late on the motherfucking chat right now. So you can pick anything, and I assume you want me to eat sandwiches right now. So Yep, Phil, good call. I like long stories, not the in-between cute episode filler fucking bullshit. Vola says, dude, shot a vodka, motherfucker. Let me say hi to everyone before I get called rude. No, hi, Felicia. Love you. Perfect timing. You just have got work. Driving home with a Phil stream. Scout says, yes, spin that fucking shit. We got Tony in the live motherfucking chat. Discovery spoilers. Oh, sorry, I'm catching up. Nymeria and Felicia. Yeah, and I feel it on the big screen. My computer just said, fuck yourself and shut off. What a fucking cock tease your motherfucking computer is. Scout, let me know again what you want your pick to be as I'm catching up in the chat right now. Discovery also seems to have no launchable sensor probes, no deployable shuttlecraft. Worf and the other Klingons dismiss corpses as empty shells. Now Klingons collect their dead bodies. It's just a fucking big mess. Someone else said this, and I'm stealing it. I might have even said it at the time. I'm kind of piggybacking on your question on a different point because your points kind of lay there. You make a lot of really good points. With the Klingon houses, I would have been more accepting of the new look of the Klingons if within the 26 houses or 24 houses that they were, you saw Klingons that looked like TOS Klingons, well, the Enterprise look of them. And you saw some other Klingons that looked different. You saw several different kinds of Klingons. Just it would have forgiven the change of the look of them a little bit better for me. You choose my fate, motherfucker. Yep, sandwiches. Big bite of a sandwich. Yes, it is. Okay. You ask, I must succumb to your desires, Scout. So let me scroll over here. And I want to take a couple of these points here that somebody made. Joshua, Discovery also seems to have no launchable sensor probes, no deployable shuttlecrafts, and I'd say that's maybe a way where they're a little constricted by the time period that they're set in, which is 10 years before the original series. So perhaps some of that stuff hasn't been complete. No, because Enterprise has it. No deployable shuttlecraft. Worf and the other Klingons dismiss corpses as empty shells. Now Klingons collect their dead bodies. That is a little bit weird in the sense that the soul, so to speak, in Klingon mythology has left and gone to Stolbakor. We didn't hear anything about Stolbakor in that speech. I don't think it was more. I'd have to go back and read every sentence of it, but I'm pretty sure Stolbakor doesn't get mentioned. It might. I could be wrong. Yell at the screen if I'm wrong and tell me, or leave in the comment section if I'm wrong. But yeah, I wasn't. Everything that was wrong with it was Klingon oriented for me. Excuse me while I take the bite of this fucking sandwich. Oh my god. Totally agree, Phil. They had an opportunity to broaden the Klingon spectrum in mythos, and they're all somewhat indistinguishable from another. Hopefully they'll alter costumes at least from house to house. That's what I was hoping. When they announced that, all the houses were coming for a big meeting for the Klingon thing, I got really excited that we were possibly going to see many different houses and many different looks of Klingons, and then that would explain it. We see the genetically affected Klingons and all that shit that we learned. And because we knew that was a sect, that wasn't the entire Klingon race. Maybe that's going to fit into the storyline. I want to kind of give them a benefit of the doubt to show that maybe this is a transition point in between the two looks, because the genetic thing that they've tried to steal has already happened, and I don't know. I hope it has an explanation, because certain things I don't mind. I know some people are getting a little hot and bothered with the hologram technology stuff. Some of the switches with sci-fi technology I don't mind, as it follows our own technology. So it needs to be futuristic. We can have fucking Tupac holograms performing on stage, but we got to wait for a certain kind of Star Trek technology to be invented to do it on a show that's set in 20s Zibbity Zoo. So I don't mind some updating with the tech. It's about And even if that crosses canon a little bit, but stuff to do with like the Klingon race and stuff that's really well established, and you're saying this is Prime Universe, I think you run into a few more problems, especially when you did so much overcorrecting in the Enterprise age and Deep Space Nine for this Klingon thing, and this has been so much of a factor. I know people say, "Oh, you're so upset. They don't look." No, I don't. Again, I don't mind the redesign so much, and I probably would mind it less if I didn't think it looked bad. If it was a little bit of a subtle, change or something that felt like it was even the same alien race. The problem is it doesn't feel at all similar to the same alien race. It's not that they changed it or updated it. They updated it from TOS to Next Generation, from the movies to Next Generation. Deep Space Nine got subtle changes. Whatever, even Enterprise did their own version of the Klingons. They're always changing it. But when it looks stupid, it looks stupid. And maybe someone likes it, but if you do, tell me in the comment section of this video or in my Star Trek reviews. Tell me, I want to know who likes this design of the Klingons besides the artist. And don't be the artist on a fake account. I don't like it. Thank you, Al Red Sox fan. You're the fucking man, buddy. Wow, must be a great sandwich. Oh, it's a big sandwich. Stovacor got mentioned in the speech over the torch in his body. Thank you, Cardinal. I did not. I missed that because I was like my head down taking notes and such. So it's a little bit difficult for me to pick up on that part exactly. Hey, Devin is in the live motherfucking chat. Lots of love to Devin. You guys are in for a treat tonight with the pictographs. That's why I'm quiet, Velomagoras. My point is to make no sense because it was responsible for something and said 5 minutes ago. Phil, do you think it's going to actually be Prime timeline? Do you think they're actually going to end up recanoning or making another timeline? I don't know. That's a good fucking question, because does this mean we're not going to deal with any fucking end of any of the fucking series? Or the other end? Is the end of that series what happens with Spock and it just essentially will happen? We won't get any future to Prime timeline? I think that's fucking bullshit if that happens. I hope they make their own timeline and just skip the events, literally yada yada over everything that happened in those fucking movies. Good or bad, if you like them, let them exist onto themselves as a different fucking part of the universe. Similar to how I feel about Game of Thrones, book versus show. Like, I love the show for the show, and I love the books for the fucking books. Why can't they just be two different universes? Why do I have to get hot and bothered? Why do I have to say, oh, I like one and I like the other? Why do I have to be that fucking stupid and closed-minded? Why can't I have an open mind and like some things about one, some things about the other? And I think it's the same thing about this Prime timeline thing. Why does that affect this? It shouldn't affect this. It's an offshoot. It's a take. Whatever. Let that live in there. Let the people that like those stuff more than anything else handle that. Let me marry 7 of 9 and bring back Jadzia and get into a polygamy situation and be very, very happy with them. Sorry, that was a random aside, but I'm looking at a random picture of... I just flipping through Star Trek shit online. It goes, who's the hottest Star Trek girl? And I was like, can I pick 2? Anyways, scroll down this motherfucking show. What's the occasion? What is a good question? My computer just can't handle all this awesomeness. I finally stumble on a live show and it's Star Trek discussion. Fucking boring. Miss Katie Crow. Sword Stone. This isn't necessarily a Star Trek discussion. This is a random Friday feedback show because I was a little sick this week, so I couldn't really think of anything to fucking talk about. So I'm not necessarily going to be talking about any specific subject here. So if you have a Game of Thrones question you want me to ask or want to ask, or any specific direction you want to push my stupid ass into, I'll gladly go into that direction. I just happen to start things off on this Star Trek discussion. But to Katie Crow, Katie will hopefully be flying on in during the Walking Dead reviews. It depends on how busy she is, but she will definitely, I know this is a long time off, but definitely be back for the remainder of the Game of Thrones episodes. I'm not sure if she likes the Walking Dead enough to break out of some of her busy schedule the podcast about it, but I'm willing to bet we can see her a couple times throughout the year here and there. So it's you won't have to wait a whole year and a half to see Katie again. Hello, everybody. Like I said, the occasion is just bullshit right now. It's just that I'm sick. The people around me in my normal life right now are fucking sick of hearing me talk, and I need to get some of this bullshit out. Otherwise, I'm fucking stopping people on the street and annoying everybody. It's great to see everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Hey Phil, see we're 5 minutes behind yet live. General feedback show discussion. What's up? Yeah, you guys in the live chat are a little bit behind me. I'm scrolling back to real time. It's because I'm like scrolling behind in the live chat as well. Random question. Anyone in here have seen the new episode of American Horror Story? I have not yet. Not always lagging, Phil. We're just bitching because we're way behind for whatever reason. Does everyone in here agree that Fear the Walking Dead is just crap? Easy there, Phil. You're only human. If they're desperate for rating 7 of 9 in Jadzia's sex mirror universe scene, I would absolutely love that. So I want to let's stretch this out. Let's stretch my fucking wide ass legs open here. And I also wanted to mention, I didn't say this earlier, but if anyone wants to call on in and leave a voicemail at 781-990-8509, the phone lines are open. So this is a question from 7 to 9 is the sexiest Star Trek girl of all, Phil. Hey, Phil, I do have a Game of Thrones question. I'm out of the news loop. What's the latest on the prequel series? I'm a little out of the news loop myself, but I'm pretty sure one of the things that just happened is they said the first one is going to premiere in 2020, was it, or something? Maybe, I believe that's what they said. Someone in Ian probably knows more than me in the live motherfucking chat right now. And also that another series just got announced that is going to be written by George R.R. Martin and directed by Brian Cogman or something like that, I believe. And so it's like another series that just got announced. So it's even more. So what I'm really excited about that is that George is going to take more of a hands-on role in another one of the series, because I think he has a lot of fun with TV. He has a lot of experience working in the Star Trek universe too. So George R.R. Martin has a lot of experience with television. And I think for whatever it's worth, he got a little bummed out by the process of working on the main show. So I'm excited that he's going to get to take more of an active role in some of these prequel series and have more of his hand in them and more control over it coming out the way he wants. So for good or for bad about the television series, he has very specific interests in what he wants to get out of it. So I think the most beautiful thing about these prequel series is it seems like most of it's going to be head and decided by him himself. So we're going to get some fucked up good shit, I believe. I want HBO to bring back Rome after Game of Thrones. It really should. There's no reason not. And if you guys are into Rome and have watched Rome, do yourself a favor and go over to History Buffs. He just released part 2 of his Rome videos on season 2. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm really excited to. And it's awesome if you want to know some of the historical accuracy of Rome, the television show, and just in general thoughts on awesome, cool backstory information about the HBO series. Definitely go over and check out History Buffs for that review. It's really awesome. And loved what I saw in part 1. Can't wait for more in part 2. We'll also eventually be doing a Rome review on the channel, more from a television standpoint of how it compares to other HBO series and stuff like that, and reviewing it from that standpoint. But definitely, if you're into the historical accuracies and some other thoughts and are a fan of History Buffs, definitely check that out. Rome with vampires and sexy werewolves. Brian Cogman is good. Yes, we were talking about this. I was on Tony Teflon's channel the other evening, and we were doing like a debate on which are our favorite best episode. And it was funny. One episode was written by George, and the other two episodes were written by Cogman. And it was like, oh, and these are the guys working on this new series. Yes. So I'm very excited for that team. I'm all thrown out. Forgive me. No, and I am to a certain extent too. That's why, I'm lucky that on this channel we do so many shows, for good or for bad. Sometimes we don't get as much attention when we talk about other stuff as we do Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, or something like that. But I get so into it while it's happening that I get so excited to talk about other stuff. It doesn't mean I'm going to completely abandon it, but it's, for a couple weeks there right after the season, I was a little thrown out, so I sort of separated myself from it. But I'm now back into it again and can't wait to kind of stick my dick all up in all of the Game of Thrones off season with my character profiles in season 8 preview shit. Gonna be starting that soon, especially once Walking Dead starts. I'll need a respite. A respite. Well, it does have incest briefly. I don't know why HBO is really into that. We got Stranger Things season 2. My new obsession is BBC's Call the Midwife. No shame. Peaky Blinders season 4 is coming up. T'Pol and 7 are my ultimate sandwich fantasy. That's not bad, Scout. It's not bad. Not motherfucking bad. So I have a question from Nymeria in the live motherfucking chat. And also I meant to mention this earlier, but if anyone wants to add me on Skype, it's I Got Issues Man on Skype. And you can add me there and send me messages over on Skype or send me some voicemails that way by just calling me and leaving a recording when you do, or leaving an audio recording by calling on in. If you want to leave your messages and calling a local Boston number isn't conducive to where you're living, and you don't want to go 001 and all that fucking crap, and you want to get your voice in on one of these shows, definitely feel free to connect with me on Skype for contact. Make contact. Touch me. So does this mean you're ready for another season? So does that mean you're ready for another season of Vikings? Yes, I am. I'm hugely ready. I'm excited. I can't wait. There's another trailer out for Vikings that I briefly watched, or a quick teaser of Vikings that got me really fucking excited. It was a Lagatha-based trailer. You guys are fucking amazing. And I think I definitely saw Devin in the live motherfucking chat earlier, but I scrolled past it a little bit. Lots of love to Devin. Hope you have a fucking awesome weekend filled with tons of side motherfucking butthole. Good to see Felicia, Joshua, Nymeria, Uncle D, Paul Quigley, Scout, Iron, Cheekiest, X Sword Stone. Sword in the Stone, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's great to see all of you guys this afternoon. Thank you for joining me. And I know, usually I come here with a specific topic or something to talk about. Today, it was just a babble fest. This is more what I used to do for my radio show, where I didn't necessarily know what I was going to talk about, and I'd just be babbling about absolutely fucking nothing and talking about people being idiots because they're so fucking this way or another way. They gotta like one or the other. They can't find any subtlety in life. You know, that sort of shit. And then I'd play a stupid song, and this is a song by a band called Zibbity Zooby from the Zibbity Zays. Okay. So, I hate Lagatha's Nymeria. I live in the future, Phil. Vikings Last Kingdom was way better. You ever see Last Kingdom similar to Vikings? We got Gary in the live motherfucking chat. Here we go. Bum 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 bum. To do it. Help it. Thank you for the butthole wishes. I will make it happen. Do it, make it happen. Cannot send enough love to that man over there. Fucking, it was awesome enough to feature myself in the Bloody Fucking Talker at the beginning of one of his recent videos, as usual. Fucking so much love coming from Devin. I'm still holding out for a Deadwood review. It will happen eventually. I gotta talk about that motherfucker. Cannot not talk about that motherfucker at some point. Thank you, Vala. Help broke black man reach 1,000 subscriptions. He's close. Help the broke man reach it. So he's so broke he needs your super chat donation. So help him get to 1,000 so he can get it. Help a broke man out. Oh, thank you, buddy. That means so fucking much, dude. Fucking fuck you! That was supposed to be like a loving fuck you. Like I hope you find some side butthole that fucks you! That wasn't funny, but it was still, it came from a positive place. They can't all be, if you throw shit at a wall like I do, they can't all be winners. Some shit falls off. I do appreciate that. Like I always say, it's the help from channels like you and other big channels that help get us our big bursts, because we're so individual. No one wants to watch a fucking silly motherfucker like me babble about nothing. No, they do. But as other people can be introduced, we got our biggest bump ever from Devin, as about, like 1,000 subs in a couple days from him, and the first time he ever shared us out. So like I can never say enough thanks to you, and what just what you mentioning us does and helps get a lot of people's notice. So huge thank you to you. And I'll also add in that list Carmine and Tony and all the other people that have helped us out throughout, and Nick from History Buffs and all the bigger channels that help spread the word about us, because we're niche when it comes down to it. You got to be a fucking certain kind of person. Even if you hate watch me, which I'm perfectly okay with, hate watch me. Do it. Tell me I fucking suck. Tell me I'm too happy. Tell me I couldn't think of anything like that. You're fucking stupid. Smoke another one. Your mom's ugly. I don't know. Pimp me out all you want. Like, spread me out on that. Put lipstick on me. Put me on the back of a car. Spread butthole wide. Insert, slap, pop. I don't care. You guys are awesome. Thank you, buddy. I really do appreciate that. A joyous fuck you works for me. You smile too much, asshole. Sorry, it's because I don't smile. Because this literally is the happiest place on earth for me. And even when the shit comes, like, even if the shit spile comes down, it's fun getting to just babble and not give a flying fuck burger what really comes down to it. And I have lots of, I'm not gonna be like, I have no friends and you guys are my only friends. I mean, that's true, but no. And I live alone in my mom's basement, as you can see. So it's a difficult thing when you live in your mom's basement, when constantly my mother's like, Philip, will you take out the lockies? Now, when she says shit like that, like, constantly, that's all she says to me. And it sucks sometimes, you know? But it's fairness. It's a relationship. I'm like 78 years old, and I'm living in my mom's basement. Got my Star Trek communicator. What's that, Scotty? Oh, Philip giving it as much she's got. I mean, what the fuck can I expect? Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled like elderberries. M, great to see you. Lots of love to M in the live motherfucking chat. Dude, I'm gonna use that song in every promo and adding your picture at the. Thank you, Felicia. Felicia had me do her trivia song, so you can check out her channel to check that silliness out. I was looking to see if I had it right here, but I don't have it. I actually don't have it. Sorry, Captain. I haven't got the fucking power. But trivia, fuck yeah. Thank you, Paul. Fart in my general direction and just go. Oh, yeah. I'm disgusting. I love farting in my dog's face and my cat's face. I get this sick thrill out of doing it. I'm like, hey, cat, I got something for you. It's one of those weird things I do, and I get like off on it. I get humorously off on it. Like, I just farted on the dog. I'm such a fucking idiot. I bite my thumb at you, sir. No, I bite my thumb at you. No, I bite my thumb at you, sir. I bite my thumb at you. Thank you for the Shakespearean reference there, Nymeria. Classing up this joint. What are you talking about? Bite thumb? I don't bite my thumbs anymore. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. I fart in my dog's face. I thought I was the only one. Oh, I love it. And my dog loves it too. It's like she starts, gets really excited too. She doesn't know what I'm doing. It's because I can't fart in people's face when they're awake. So I need to fart in some moderately sentient beings creature. Modern sentient beings creature. Modern. Sorry. You sure you want to promote me, Devin? I can't fucking talk. Am I sure I want to be a podcaster when I can't speak a sentence properly? What the fuck am I doing? I should do a quiet job. But I can't type. Anyone who's ever tried to communicate with me through writing. It's fucking amazing. Oh, fuck. You're Cartman when you made Kyle eat his farts. Yes, I am. You need to eat my farts. Phil, what would you do about the Walking Dead show do you think about a Walking Dead show for adults on HBO, Stars, Netflix, Showtime? Personally, I would have preferred Fear the Walking Dead was on Stars. I basically want to see Alicia Debham's boobs. Is she the one that plays the daughter? I would think that HBO or one of the big channels would pay off doing a show like that, like a deeper, darker kind of kind of show that gives you. Oh, and thank you so much for the super chat donation, Felicia. You're fucking awesome. I'm gonna spin that fucking wheel for you. No, thank you. I just love any chance and any excuse to get to sing badly on something. So I appreciate you asking me to do that, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you for that $10 super chat donation. I will give you a spin of the motherfucking wheel in a second. But I do think The Walking Dead, even though AMC kind of lets them do almost anything that they want, probably, I think a show like that would benefit from being on a channel that had no rules for what they could do. And I do think zombie shows or horror shows like that work well with titties, boobs, balls, whatever. And being in a place where you could show where you could show me Maggie's. I was thinking of her real life. Maggie's boobs or Daryl's dirty cock or something like that, whatever you're interested in. Like, you could show me that sort of stuff mixed in with the violence. It's another reason to watch it, because you're not watching it for story. I think for me, liking The Walking Dead, I need to shut my mind off completely from deep story stuff that I get in something like Better Call Saul, Vikings, Game of Thrones, Westworld, shows like that. The Walking Dead, fuck all that. What you're hoping for is decent character exploration in a medium that never existed before. I mean, you could say, a lot of zombie-oriented movies were really fun, but they're mainly comedy, horror kind of shit going on, or just something different. The Walking Dead was almost one of the first zombie things to really be a character piece. I know there's something I'm missing. There's something I'm missing. I just mean the way that those first few seasons, I really took the characters serious and made the situation feel more real. And I think it created a lot of people that were fans of the show because, oh shit, I could be in this world or something like that. Where ultimately, that's not the kind of show. It's more, if you keep doing that stuff, it becomes silly. And that's why the show lately, with crazy things and tigers running around, whatever, it needs boobs now. It needs that because that's the kind of show it's turned into. It's no longer a serious character study kind of thing. That's fine. So give me all the fun. Give me guns and boobs and drugs and everything. Throw it on the fucking screen. You Walking Dead show creators, you're suing AMC for some shit that I haven't investigated, so I don't really know what it's all about, so I might be talking on my asshole. But what's the difference than usual? Fuck them both. Move your show to a different channel. I know it's under contract, but call it the Sitting Alive or something and make it I don't know. I agree with you. I think they could even go further with the shock and awe and silliness of The Walking Dead to make it the best possible television show it could be. D, it is Freeform Friday, so any comment or question you want to ask in the live motherfucking chat, point me in that direction. I didn't have anything planned for today, but I didn't want to miss a Friday stream. Been repeating this. I've been a little sick all week, and 60% sick, 40% crybaby, douchebag, itis. So I haven't really watched much this week, and I kind of needed a week away, week with my head buried in the sand a little bit, and or eating a lot of food this week, like gallons of ice cream. I don't know why I paused and it was going to be really serious. Guys, shh. Eating a lot of food. I ate some food this week. Yeah. I don't know why this became such a fucking secret, but it was one of those weeks that I listened to a lot more stuff than I watched. Like, I caught up in a lot of podcasts I haven't listened to, caught up in a lot, just kind of was re-drinking my juices and berries and spreading my sob all over dry parts of my body. I need another bite of a sandwich. Oh, I owe Felicia a spin. So yes, it's everything and anything. So that's that question. Aaron! Oh no, that was Aaron. I'm sorry. I thought that was Felicia that did the super chat donation. Sorry about that, Aaron. Lots of love to Aaron for the super chat donation. That says, thanks, Phil. The trivia song is great. You also got your pick, Aaron. Whichever you leave on, it lands on your pick. Felicia doesn't matter, love. Sending some support for Phil. Thank you, Aaron. It was Aaron's super chat, not Phil. I'm sorry. I missed it. I didn't learn reading in reading class. I apologize. But no, thank you so much for that fucking super chat donation. Don't give me credit. It was Aaron. I'm giving it, Aaron. That's for you. Question, are you going to watch Inhumans in The Gifted? Not The Gifted, Inhumans I possibly will watch. Have you finished Ozark? Not yet, but I do like what I saw so far. It's slow moving. It's a different kind of show. It's kind of awkward to see Jason Bateman in this kind of role. I'm not quite used to it yet. But I do like him in general in the show. I don't like the kids on his kids. I fucking hate them. That's my least favorite part of the show. I like him in the crime scene situation that he's involved in. There's a lot of good stuff there to mine. See, a couple people, it was Aaron, not Felicia. It even flashed on my screen and said Aaron. But I thought it was, I was so convinced I was right there. I was wrong, and I suck, Aaron. Aaron, I'll refund your $10 because I didn't give you proper credit. It's not worth it. You get a second spin just because you deserve it, because I'm an idiot that week. So your first one is you pick. So you get to pick anything on the wheel that you want. Next one. Next spin for Aaron goes, talk with the puppet head on. Okay. You have one that's your pick. The other one I have to fucking talk with this fucking thing on for a few minutes. So I just want to thank one more time and say, everyone check out the Trivia Fuck Yeah song and check out Trivia. It's a lot of fun. We're going to be having a trivia thing on this channel. A week from this Saturday night. It's going to be live with myself, Matt, and my cousins Craig and Alan. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about rock trivia. And it should be a good time. It's not going to be as interactive as some of the trivia channels have, but it is going to be, you can play along at home. And if you want to challenge the winner, I'll allow you guys to come on and challenge the winner to a competition. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for those super chat donations. You guys are fucking amazing. So, furry Phil time. I recapped all of Gotham, the whole series, man. The whole fucking series. I did. I binged Legion. See, Erin left. She's like, fuck you, Phil. I'm out of here. You won't even appreciate me for my super chat donation. You giving credit to Felicia. See, I think how my brain worked on that is I saw the thanks for the trivia song, and I assumed it was Felicia thanking me, which she has many times. And I was like, so I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, oh, okay, that's Felicia that sent that. So I fucked up. Please tell me, no, you did not miss it. Hot under there, Phil, is fucking hot. Lotus is scared shitless of that thing. Yeah, I do think she thinks it's a dog, and she gets fucking scared. And she does. It's hot. I know that is sad, Grumpy. You know, I don't know her family, but I have had that disease before, and it's a different sort of thing. You know, I had the kidney variety. So I don't, I hope she gets over it quickly, gets caught everything early enough to get everything taken care of and shit like that. And I don't know her. I don't fucking know her, but I'm sending lots of good vibes to her and her family in a difficult fucking time. So that shit fucking sucks. Anyways, yes, it's very fucking hot out of there. BBM 1,000. Yeah, let's get broke black man to 1,000 subscribers, motherfucker. Batman, I will say this about Gotham. Gotham is better when you don't look at it as a Batman show. And what I mean by that is the Batman mythos is there, but you have to look at it similar to what I was saying about other shows. It's a different take. It's a different Earth. It's an alternate dimension where Gordon essentially is Batman in some ways. And I know Bruce keeps coming up and everything like that, but where Gordon's a little bit more like Batman than Batman is. I mean, or than in other, inclinations. 6 days of high 80s, and it's 50 fucking New England. Kind of like, Joshua just almost quoted what I was going to say word for word there. It's almost just a different universe. You can't, where I got into problem. Every time I have a problem with Gotham, like real problem with Gotham, it's my Batman brain kicking in, and I'm like, that wouldn't happen on Batman. Well, that happened already. That happens to Bruce later. Why is this happening with Jim? Jim wouldn't do this. This isn't Jim Gordon. This is Batman. You know, I get all sort of grumpy like that. And that's stupid. I shouldn't be doing it. Like, I should judge this show on whether it's entertaining or not. And I think Gotham has some fun arcs, has some stupid arcs, has some villains that eat up scenery in a good way, have some villains that suck donkey balls. But the production value of Gotham is always top of the line. It always looks really good to me, and it always has enough compelling moments with individual characters like Bullock and Gordon, who I think are really well done. And you get Michael Chiklis as, I don't know if he continues into the new season, where I am at it, just starting to watch the third season. Michael Chiklis is really good on the show as well. And you got actors like B.D. Wong that show up and a couple things. But for everyone like that, then you have Fish Mooney, who I thought sucked donkey testicles, and the enemy and the villain, the Clock King, or whatever his name is, the dude that they have as the villain in most of season 3 that I'm watching, I think is fucking horrible. I think the actor's horrible, and I think it's done super cheesy. So I think Gotham has some highlights and some lowlights. And the lowlights are really low, and the highlights are pretty good. No, the Mad Hatter. Yeah, the Mad Hatter arc. Fuck the... Yeah, is it not the Clock King, the Mad Hatter. It's just... He's just stupid. I can't get over that he's Ryan. Call him by his name, Ryan. He's still upset that Marissa... Is that her name, Marissa? And Seth are boning or something. Jim needs to hop off Lee's dick. Lee needs to die for real. He's the real Bruce. Gotham focuses on everyone, not just Batman and Bruce, which is epic. Donkey balls. Oh man, Joshua, every time I do a video, I just roll my eyes when she comes on. The problem with Gotham is Ben McKenzie, who is a charisma growling black hole. He's like an angry version of Russell Crowe, like an angry mini-me Russell Crowe. Fight around the world. I just love how he's always Ryan Atwood in everything he's in. But I generally like the Ryan Atwood character. I just think he is always Ryan Atwood. I can't help but compare it to Year One. I hear you. And it makes a lot of sense why people compare it to Year One and compare it to Batman. It's set in the Batman mythos. I just think I view it... Whenever I start doing that, I try to stop myself. And I go, is this good TV? Am I enjoying this from a television standpoint? Am I enjoying the new adventures of old Jim Gordon? To do a little Julia Louis-Dreyfus shout out there. Lee will never leave unless Ben McKenzie divorces her in real life. I think that is a thing. I do think that's a thing. That they have more scenes together because they're married in real life. Very bad. Fish was horrible, and Penguin is Riddler is bad. The kids do the best. Selina and Bruce are my favorite, and Alfred. Alfred is amazing. He's another one. I'm glad you mentioned him. He's one of the best characters on the show. It's one of my favorite takes on Alfred ever. Young Bruce, I can hit or miss with him. I didn't love some of the Saint Dumas backstory Wayne family crap that they do sometimes, but I think all the Bruce and Alfred stuff works generally well. Selina, I appreciate her more as time goes on. I didn't love all of her scenes, but she's growing on me a little bit, especially as the actress grows up a little bit. She looks more the part, I think. I just don't think she and the actor that plays Bruce are good enough to carry scenes when they're by themselves. But like that could change in season 3 because I thought some of the stuff that they're doing with them dating and shit is not that bad. And I especially like scenes with her and Alfred. I think she steps up to the people that are around her. The actor that plays Bruce, I'm a little bit more dubious on, but whatever. He's not bad. So let's continue. We're talking, there's some new Gotham stuff going on in there that I'm not going to jump onto quite yet. So let's continue. I keep wanting to ask Nymeria's question here. Let me ask this question. Hi, Phil. It's Nymeria. My question is, if you could influence any future events from Game of Thrones, what would it be? Influence any future events? I'd go back and drink that glass of water a little slower. I mean, a little faster. That was kind of a real long pause of a glass of water. I'd be like, that's a good question. No. Randy, great to see you, Randy. Selena needs more lesbian training. They need to bring back Black and Silver. Question by Nymeria. If I could influence any future event from Game of Thrones, what would it be? The future event that I would influence, sorry, broke, but my guy's better than yours. If I could create any future event, it would be that I want both Jaime and Tyrion to have fun both at the same time killing Cersei. Working together to murder Cersei, and that's how she gets taken down. It's not just one little brother, it's both motherfuckers that find a way to set her up to kill the mountain or to set the mountain up, maybe, drop him down a pit where the Hound's waiting for him with an army of other people to try to do something against him. And then we got cocaine ball! And somehow I want to be a little evil Jiminy Cricket on Jaime's shoulder and go, kill the bitch, dude. Kill the bitch. So if I could influence any event, it would be to have Jaime go another step and fucking murder her. So that would be my specific event. I know it's less and do it before she fucks up everything for the war against the war with the White Walkers and the Whites and stuff. Because she's just gonna be a horrible abscess in the middle of all this shit. And I would love to see Jaime go to the north, bump into Bran, go through all of that, suffer whatever he needs to suffer through all of that, and then maybe even through Bran go, you know what you need to do. Jaime Lannister, you know what you need to do. I must kill the queen. Then suddenly he turns like Reggie Jackson in Naked Gun. I must kill the queen. I must kill the queen. I must kill the queen. I must kill Frank Dwebin. I must kill Frank Dwebin. So that's my question. And I would also, as I think people are going to be doing that anyway, I would love to see in the live motherfucking chat, if you guys could influence any future event, what would you influence? And if you're watching this video later, let me know in the in the comment section below, what you think and what some of the things you would want to affect in the future if you could. So let's read the live motherfucking chat. Dramatic. Yeah, it was very dramatic water drinking. Let me see. Can I sound like I'm from Boston? Can I try? It was dramatic water drinking. Water. When am I saying water? What the fuck kind of word is that? Am I talking like this now? Is this my new voice for the podcast? Hi, everybody. This is Dick Head from Connecticut School of Broadcasting. If you want to learn to talk like me, you'll go to Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I guess they're never advertising on this show. Anyways. The Valaz plural theory. Yep, that's what I'm hoping. I want to past event to change it. The Viper winning. Stares at Scout. I want to watch Arya wear Sansa's face, says Randy. Darth Mountain turns to the light side, says the goat. Nymeria says, damn, Phil, that's harsh. She buried herself. Naked Gun was fun. If I influence the future, Broke says, save fucking Cersei, Phil. Hey, Mel, great to see you in the live motherfucking chat. Red and gold, red and gold, red and gold, red and gold. Grumpy says, have season 8 start sooner and be 10 episodes. I thought it was Baltimore School, Syracuse School of Broadcasting, Connecticut, and Massholes. Anyone who's from my area might recognize those commercials from the radio. Felicia, you might on WEI or something. Hi, everybody. This is Dick something from Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I've been a broadcaster for 47 years making this stupid voice, and here I am. Sorry, I'm not ragging on anyone individually. Or any other kinds of broadcasters. It's just the commercial and how he says in the commercial. He just says, hey, everybody. This is the way I talk. Me. Nymeria would influence Dorne to become a powerful house and region and avenge Oberyn and Alaria's death. I would go even simpler than that, Nymeria, for hope for the show, because I back your hope up. I hope just for Dorne to play a part again and not be stupid. A couple people have asked these questions in their reviews and stuff, and it's questions that I asked. Maybe I didn't verbalize so much, but where is Dorne in all of this? After everything that happened and after the death of all their leaders, like, there's still lots of houses down there. Who's in control down there? What the fuck is going on down there right now after all these events? There was a whole army waiting to be rendezvoused. We didn't get a report. Oh yeah, Euron's fleet went to Dorne too and destroyed the Dornish arm or whatever, or laying siege upon Sunspear or whatever. Like, you don't get even any of that, which would have been, I think, just a subtle little thing they could have put in the background just to, like, let you know that was happening, to know that that army, that group was indisposed. I just hope they get mentioned again at this point. And we find out what the fuck's going on. A word from Cersei, a word from Dany about, maybe we should go down there and figure this out. Sending someone down there to talk to those people and go, listen, your leaders wanted to support us. You want to send some new leaders up? Or maybe we see some new families or see who's in charge of Dorne now. Because of the fucking sand shit douchebag killing Bashir and Duran and what I was going to blame it on Dany not attacking King's Landing to begin with, but whatever happened with the Sand Snakes and all of that, and the Sand Snakes killing the heir as well, I'm pretty sure all the Martells are gone on the show anyways that we know of, unless there's some left over that we just didn't meet on the show and other Sand Snakes exist, but that just weren't never actually introduced on the show. Excuse me. I'd love to know what the hell's happening in Dorne right now and some of the other parts of the world that are dealing with the events that are happening, dealing with getting this response. I keep wondering what they're going to do with 6 episodes. Hopefully there's more of that, more opening up this world. As much as I'm not as big of a complaining about some of the stuff in this season, was it the best season? No. Was it the worst? No. I think the problem, someone will go, they have to do this, is the story. Game of Thrones has always seemed bigger than the story that you're seeing. You're focused on one single area, but you're constantly aware that this is a vibrant, alive world with everything going on in multiple places around. And I think the show has done an excellent job of depicting that. I'm not talking about the books at all, just the show. I feel like in these last couple of seasons, specifically in this last couple of episodes, and I was going to say throughout the whole season, the perspective has narrowed. And some could say it has to do that as it's coming to the end of the story, but I think there's ways of doing it without doing it fully and without making it such a quick shift. And this is just, again, just my opinion. I feel like a little bit of the wideness of the world has been cut. And I think in some cases, part of that is because we don't worry too much about what's going on in other parts of Westeros right now. And we're so focused on bam, bam, bam in this central story, which is important and I care about it, but I also want to feel like everyone's dealing with this. Everyone's getting that warning that winter's coming. How are other places dealing with this? And this is just areas that we are maybe not going, and then now to mention, maybe we're not going to find that shit out until the books and be able to have that get explained a little bit more. Maybe that's part of what's taking George so long, is making sure everyone's dealing with what's happening in the world. And that's a tougher thing to depict on a show where you have main characters and you haven't really set up main characters in different places. Maybe part of that will be established next season when a lot of people show up, when Holland shows up and from Greywater Watch, when we see more people coming from the Riverlands, when we see more people coming up from Dorne to fight this fight, and everyone's coming together rather than just like King's Landing, the North, and Dany's situation. So that's me. That's me. The Dornish army was on the boats coming back to King's Landing. They were attacking their ships. I thought they were rendezvousing down to meet the Dorne army to pick them up. I'd have to rewatch the season, but I could be wrong about that, Milt. Thank you for correcting me. I just love Dorne and how they were portrayed. Quentin leads 10,000 spears up the Boneway and takes King's Landing. Aegon, fuck yeah. I'm going to read that again just because I thought, again, I love being wrong. This is why I love doing live shows, not recorded, because then it just has to sit out there like a fucking disgusting, rotting meatball over my head. But the Dornish army was on the boats coming back to King's Landing. They were attacked on the return trip by Euron. For some reason, okay, then I was wrong. I thought they were going down to Dorne to pick up the Dornish army. But I guess I'm wrong. The show is sexist and they hate women ruling, so they cut 90% of the ruling later, he says. Felicia, for her pro topic for the day. He told Cersei that he had 8 daughters. Oh, so there are more out there. There were other sand snakes in the book. Alara and the Sphinx in King's Landing undercover, and she'll kill Cersei with a poisoned arrow. Quentyn fled to Essos, where he saw how bad the sand snakes were. Hopefully that's what he did. Then burn Robert Strong with fiery arrows. Nymeria says, I think it makes more sense that they were cut off before reaching Dorne. I remember Yara talking about how she's only been to Dorne a few times and that she would be treated to Dornish red. They're missing Sorella Sand. The rest of the sand snakes are too young. Quentyn literally turned into a frog when he saw how bad the sand snakes were. You need to figure out why the Dornish army is idling. The farther south you go, the harder it was to time warp. Essos was left out of season 7. I wonder if Daario will be leading the Golden Company to fight for Cersei. I do think that's a way to bring Daario back into the story and kind of give the Golden Company a face, even though he's going to be working with the Second Sons. There's going to be some sort of alliance set up between them, and Daario will be a good figurehead of that situation. So a lot of people have said that, and I absolutely agree that I think Daario and the Second Sons and the Golden Company are both going to be Cersei's dogs next season, and Daario is going to be a part of that, just to bring the connection to that storyline. There'll probably be a power struggle going on with the main family since there's no leader. Once they figure it out, they may go to King's Landing to help. Or will they go to the north to help fight No, I guess because they're not going to believe that shit. They're just going to want to go stop Cersei at this point for everything she did. Dan and Dave, by the way, and Milt says, Milt, Dan and Dave could care less about Dorne at this point anyways. I was just about to say, Milt, that you and me talking about this and everyone in the live motherfucking chat having this discussion are putting more time and effort into the thought on what happened to that Dornish army than I think the whole writers team did. So whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong about where the Dornish army is, I think this discussion is better. They started to have this discussion and said, fuck it, dude. Fuck it, dude. Fuck it, dude. Trying to make sense of Dan and Dave's writing is difficult. It was Yara's Ironborn versus Euron's Ironborn. Your thoughts on the Discovery criticism. I talked a little bit about that. Deontay Washington, hope I pronounced that right, on at the beginning of the show about Discovery's criticisms. I agree with the Klingon issue. I've heard the issue that's too much like the JJ films. That doesn't bother me as much. I don't mind the show looking a little bit different and having a kind of more of a feel inspired by that world. I hate the Klingons. I said that already. I got to say it again twice. It's awful. Other than that, I generally like it. I think some of the criticisms that people have of it based on the CBS thing, I completely agree. You can hear me bitch about that in my Discovery review. But ultimately, I think it has a lot of potential. And I feel like some people are saying, oh, it's shouting at me all this shit. You know, it's trying to make the... Then if you don't think Star Trek's done that in the past, you've never watched Star Trek. Star Trek always is soapboxy. It's always like trying to show you something and make a stand and make a point. And it's always heavy-handed from the very beginning to the very end. Like, Star Trek's never not been that, except for the 3 JJ movies. So to see Star Trek kind of have a message and a theme to it all, too, and people complaining about that, and go, Star Trek shouldn't be like this. That's what Star Trek always is, whether it's episodic or long form. It always has a thing that they're trying to say, a bigger fucking philosophical message or something. And what I think about the people that like episodic versus long form, amen to that. Some people like things that are episodic. Some people like serialized. And if you're not a fan of Deep Space Nine, you thought this was Discovery is everything that was wrong about Deep Space Nine, and that Deep Space Nine is the ultimate fucking fuck you to Gene's vision, and it just insults him, then I could get you not digging this, because as a Deep Space Nine fan, I see a lot of shit to like. So that's my opinion on Discovery. And Joshua says, the best thing about Discovery has done so far, it's make it so the ships are not on the same 3D plane by default, always being aligned and straight and facing each other, dropping in and out of warp. I agree. And I think the space battles look really cool so far, and I can kind of follow what's going on. And it doesn't seem so much like airplane combat, which some Star Trek can look like. It's great to have Trek back on TV where it belongs. Harry Strickland is the current leader of the GC. I want Quaithe to be in the Golden Company and remove her mask and see Jerome Lannister. I always forget who is in the book, Harry Strickland and Miles. I love you book people that have like all this knowledge I don't. And I've listened to the books a couple times, and that's why in this off season it's time for another listen, because I'm so fucking bleh. So I appreciate the near encyclopedia-like knowledge. I love when I do my Elmer Fudd stuff. Simple. So, heavy-handing and world-ending crisis is nearly resolved in the last 90 seconds. That's Star Trek. Every episode of Star Trek. I heard someone complaining about, well, I've never seen the first officer question a captain like that. Really? You've never seen Riker do that in Chain of Command and the Pegasus and so many, like, just Riker. Like, I've seen Riker do that 1,000 times. Like, lots of times. Not to mention the times where Deanna or Beverly, the couple of episodes where Data were running the ship and some little fucking piece of shit red shirt motherfucker started talking shit to them. So to say that a Vulcan wouldn't go, like, when it has a logic point to say this is the logical thing to do, wouldn't go all that way. Look at what Bashir did on Deep Space Nine when he got the genetically enhanced people declared that the Dominion War couldn't be won. He wanted to completely fuck over the Federation. So many times in Star Trek, the first officer has said fuck you to the captain and pulled out and gone against orders, or someone has gone against orders to do what they think is right. Kirk made a living out of it, going against what Starfleet said. So people say, oh, fuck, Michael should be, she even go, look, fuck, she sucks. That would never happen. Again, you're not watching Star Trek. You're just making shit up to back up your points. If you don't like it, but don't make shit up. Don't be like, oh, Star Trek would never do. I'm pretty sure Star Trek did this. Pretty sure they did it before with the 500, whatever the fucking how many episodes there are of Star Trek. Like, everything's been done there. And even this storyline that we're dealing with, they're not going to do anything new under the sun. There was an episode of one of the Treks or the movie, a theme in the movie that happened already. I have not watched Norseman, but I have it on my Netflix, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I got to watch this. DS9 ship combat was too Starways. These ships doing flips and turning over on a dime. Those ships are supposed to be like aircraft carriers. Will the establishment of the neutral zone be between the Romulans and Federation occur during Discovery? I think so. Or does it happen during TOS? This is one of those things where I'm not an expert on TOS. Does the Romulan neutral zone exists in TOS? No, it does exist in TOS timeline. I'm pretty sure it does. So, or does it get established in the Romulans showing up on TOS? It's been a while since I saw that episode. Because TOS we get first contact with the Romulans, right? Someone who's a TOS expert, correct me in the comment section or in the chat right now if you're watching. Pretty sure first contact with the Romulans is in TOS. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's a specific episode. It's considered one of the greatest TOS episodes. I'm blanking on the name. I think it might even be called not the neutral zone. What the fuck's it called? But there's an episode where they're like stalking each other through the whole thing. Or maybe it's the first time that they've seen them in X amount of years, in 20 years or something like that. And I haven't watched enough Enterprise to know if any of that gets dealt with in Enterprise. What's up, Bloody Talker? Great to see you, buddy. Trivial level knowledge. Oh, it's true. And Bones is another one. Someone said, oh, no one ever argues in Star Trek before Gene. Gene didn't like people arguing. And in all respect, I'm not making fun of you here for saying that, commenter. But ultimately, come on. Bones and Spock argued so much. Bones always argued. Bones said horrible things to Spock constantly when he disagreed with somebody. Like, vicious arguing. Gene thought that no arguing shit when he was dying and going through his shit during Next Generation. And, like, no offense to Gene, but he was like he quite wasn't all there at all times. And I'm sorry, late Next Generation is better than early Next Generation. I just, like, and I know it's blasphemy to rag on Gene, but, like, towards the end, I think Gene sort of was having problems with the network, like was angry at everybody, had like thinking everyone was trying to get, like sort of had his own problems. And there's documentaries and shit you can watch about that and believe what you want to believe. But I don't know. Like saying that our characters disagreeing with each other, like the first officer and the science officer arguing is against Star Trek character. I've heard a lot of people be making that argument. Some more ironclad about that than not. I just want to go, have you ever seen a scene with Bones and Spock that they don't argue? That they don't call each other the most horrible names you could possibly fucking think of? You green-blooded Vulcan idiot? You know, shit like that. Phil, I'm looking forward to Monday because after episode 4 of The Orville, I'm really interested to see what you think in contrast to the direction Star Trek Discovery is going. Will the establishment of the new... They are emphasizing the action so far, but we need to see if they do different types of episodes, like character-driven stuff, or if it's just going to be an action-based miniseries of some sort. I have to think that we're going to get deep episodes exploring individual characters and shit like that. Yeah, Bones never agreed with everything. Damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim. It's noteworthy, though, that Michael straight up turns on Giorgio after 7 years. It is noteworthy, but it's also noteworthy that she was raised by Vulcans, and Vulcans will do that. If a Vulcan thinks something is right, she's programmed to do anything for the safety of what they need to do, and she got a read on that situation. And she's so convinced of her read that she would do anything to do that. You know, anything to accomplish what she needed to accomplish in that moment, even betray someone that's been loyal to her for 7 years. Because it's, I don't care, put me in the fucking brig afterwards. This needs to happen, otherwise war's going to happen. It's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one, in my case. And in that case, she calculated that it doesn't fucking matter what happens to me in this moment. I'll get court-martialed for this. I will save the Alpha Quadrant. I will save the Federation from having to deal with a long war with the Klingons, because by showing them that we have enough balls, they won't attack us. So I think in that moment, what she was trying to do was very Vulcan. And I think it's Star Trek 2. It's Spock. It's, again, I'll repeat, needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Or the one. Michael. The same guy who played Sarek, or Mark Lennon, is the Romulan. Same guy who played, in the episode of Next Generation. Balance of Power. Thank you, Goat. It was TOS, a cloaked Romulan ship crossed in that episode. Yeah, Balance of Power episode, and I think that was the establishment of the first contact with the Romulan race, and that was Sarek, Spock's dad, playing the Vulcan. Similar to where you see like Gul Dukat play the very first Cardassian in Next Generation, and Armin Shimmerin playing one of the first Ferengi that they meet in Next Generation. They later go on to play iconic parts of their race. Sarek, or going on to play Spock's father, later playing that Romulan in Balance of Power. Thank you, guys. So, DS9 could only have been made without Gene's input. Bones is the most cantankerous bastard in all of Trek and all of television. Yeah, Phil, that's right. Like 20 to 100 years or something like that. Sorry, Spock's dad. Yeah, I knew what you meant there. Actually, I think he is the only guy to portray 3 different races. Romulans, Vulcans, and he played a Klingon? I didn't know he played a Klingon. Awesome information, awesome Star Trek trivia. And sorry for the people that are like, I don't want to talk about Trek. But I'm going back and forth here. I'll quickly change subjects again. Star Trek trivia, how about it, Milt? Milt in the live motherfucking chat. I have to say, oh, hey, Milt, how's it going? I have to say huge thanks to Milt, and thank you to Felicia and everyone in the trivia team for playing my silly theme song. And promoting me in that silly way. I appreciate that. I know Felicia's like, no, thank you. And thank you for the super chat donation earlier. Everybody, you're amazing. What the fuck am I doing? I'm getting distracted by things lighting up in front of me. No, move. Don't go over there, Phil. This is me distracting as I'm trying to do something. So you can always tell when I'm trying to do something. And huge thanks, even though she left because I didn't properly thank her, to Erin for the super chat donation of thanks. Yes, Star Trek The Motion Picture, Mark Leonard was a Klingon. Awesome. So he's one of the Klingons in that a quick scene that we got. I'm back and I'm eating a sandwich. Thank God it's Friday. Who knows? Maybe there's a Star Trek question in tonight's trivia. Maybe. If you just accept the JJ universe as a fan film, I'd say Beyond is the most fun. I agree with that, Joshua. Beyond is the most fun because it actually seems the most like cosplay Trekkie. No, I appreciate that. No, I do appreciate that. So, I think he was the first guy to actually speak Klingon on screen. Klingonese. I love how Phil ain't distracted. It's all part of the plan. Hey, Broke, stop telling them all my secrets. Oh, sorry. So, everybody, you were fucking amazing today, as always. So, let me go over to here. Okay, so next, what I'm going to be talking about quickly here is this Sunday. This moment right now is going to be taken up by Phil playing a song. Not a song I'm actually going to play. I'm going to play another one of our great buddies, one of the awesome motherfuckers of the live motherfucking chat, and one of the great patrons that we have here. Our good buddy. Wait, pause on this one. Pause, motherfucker. Our good buddy Hannibal recorded another song for us here. And thank you so much to Hannibal for all of your support, buddy. It means so much to me. And thank you also for sending these fucking songs. I appreciate it even more so. You guys are amazing. And let's get a little bit of a technical difficulty here. What door?
All right. This is 90s sounding cunt tune.
I'm back. I'm sorry if you guys had to deal with a few seconds of silence. I'm not sure how long the song was. So literally, I could have left you. It could have been like a 2-second song.
All right. This is 90s sounding cunt tune.
Tell me, Dolores, do you see the door? You're a fucking whore if you don't see the door. Motherfucker, 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 motherfucker. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Good song, buddy. Good song. So hopefully that wasn't too loud for you guys. But thank you as always to Hannibal for his amazing stuff. So he sure takes a long ass time writing. George R. Martin, tell me, Dolores, why'd you write this lyric? Worf stares at me most disapprovingly and ended in a decent enough place. Oh, let's push back up. It does suck that there won't be another with Anton Chekhov getting crushed in his driveway. Might as well just leave it be on those. Worf was so horrible in the first season of Next Generation. Oh, he's fucking awful. The poster behind Philip Worf is staring at the new Klingons disapprovingly. Looks like there won't be another Kelvin timeline movie. Poor box office. Westworld merchandise idea: the Bernard look with the glasses, sweater, vest, and in a vest. I'd buy it. I dress like Bernard. So excuse me for one more second. I've got to do a dog sort of thing. Do a dog thing. I got to do a dog thing. I won't be but a second. So, this Sunday, Curb Your Enthusiasm returns to television. Now, it's the final season for the comedy, and I fucking love this show. It's all about Larry David, the continuing adventures of Larry David. What I like about Curb Your Enthusiasm is it is a show that just doesn't give a fuck. Rewatching it recently from season 1, I forgot how many risks it takes and how it just doesn't give a fuck. At least one season, there's some shit meant to like offend you, make you feel uncomfortable, but more just put everything at a level playing field and show you how a perspective is stupid or something. It's really a great ballsy show in a lot of ways, and it's a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see Larry David right now, how he decides to close this up, which could possibly, I mean, who knows? He's getting older, and I don't mean like that he's getting too old to work, and I'm sure he'll make bit appearances and do things here and there. But this is his last great opus, so to speak, and in another way of saying it. He's waited so long for this final season. He tried movies, and I just don't think he's going to do another show in the way that he's so much of a part of it. He might do a special here and there. I could see him do like some short videos, do something like David Letterman's doing on a Netflix series with the Fine Brothers or something. Like, do something again. But essentially, this is the end of the line for Curb Your Enthusiasm. Curb Your Enthusiasm is a improv show. They do have some thoughts and some ways that they set up scenes, but for the most part, it's that we don't know what we're going to say before we get into a moment, and they kind of set up a scenario and make up dialogue and go as they go. They have a series of a lot of actors that are on it. Usual suspects: Jeff Garlin, Richard Lewis, Cheryl Hines, J.B. Smooth, Wanda Sykes. Who else are like regulars on the show that pop up all the time? The actress that plays Jeff's wife, Susie. There's a lot of people that pop up throughout the series, and it's a funny show. It's hard. It's so hard. As I mentioned, Walking David and I will be on every Sunday to talk about Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's tough. I always find it more difficult to talk about comedies on a show like this for recaps and for everything, because I could just be saying, oh yeah, it's the funniest thing in the world. And I'm not looking at the side. I'm not looking at the live motherfucking chat right now. I'm going to turn in a second. But someone out there could be saying, fuck this show. This show's not funny. The show is stupid. The show, there's nothing happens on it. It's dumb. It's like, I can't, like, fuck this. And I couldn't argue with you because you just don't find it funny. Or someone could say, I'm just trying to think of something that everyone finds funny that I don't find funny. Fucking shit. Like, I don't know. I can't even think of something right now that everyone finds funny that I don't find funny. Certain stand-up comic or something like that. Like, see, it's hard. I'm thinking all these things that I don't find funny, and I'm like, no, fuck, someone finds that funny. What don't I find funny that everyone finds funny? Or it's just there's certain things that people just don't connect with, certain comedians, certain styles. Everyone loves Raymond, okay? I think everyone loves Raymond. I think Ray Romano isn't funny to me for some reason. But I know some people that he'd probably be their favorite comedian. You know, I can't say you're stupid for finding fucking Ray Romano funny. I just don't find his thing funny. I just don't get it. You know, I watched whenever that show came on, I was like, oh, Peter Boyle, he's funny. This guy's not funny. So, like, or Brad Garrett's funny, but he's not funny. So there's like certain people, for whatever it's worth, I just don't find funny. Larry David is 70 at the moment. I've never seen it. I'm Irish. It's an acquired taste. That's how I feel about Sunny. It's 2015. He said season 9, unlikely. He always says everything unlikely. Question about Curb. I'm in season 3. Is it okay to watch new stuff? Yes. Curb Your Enthusiasm, I wouldn't say, is a show that is so dependent on new stuff, except for a couple points. Certain things can get spoiled for you, but it's not a show that has any real meaning. Every story is within the season itself. There's a couple things that happen towards the end of the series that might get spoiled for you, but I'd say it's never a series you, like, even if it does spoil for you, it's just like, oh, cool, I can't wait for that to happen. It's not a show that there's anything deep, like, to be spoiled. Guess what? Larry fucks everything up. That's the spoiler. You know, every situation, Larry's going to fuck it up. Let's watch how it happens. I mean, there's a couple things that happen in the nature of the show, and I'll go through this a little bit. There's going to be some spoilers in the season's breakdowns that I'm going to get to in a second. But ultimately, I'd watch the new stuff just so you can be watching what people are watching, but certain things may be spoilers. Like, I don't even want to say it because in case people are really sensitive about that, but I don't find it as big of a problem on that show. I just don't care. Like, if I knew what was going to happen in the second to last season, that big thing that happens in season 8 with the other members of that show, if I knew what happens in the season before that with him and his home life, like if I knew all that, like I don't really care. Like it doesn't ruin the show. It's more about the journey rather than the outcome. The journey than the arrival. How do I want to say that? Arrested Development coming back. I've absolutely heard Arrested Development is coming back. It is. They've said it's just about scheduling and stuff, but it will be coming back, and it's going to be a real full season, not with everyone in different places. Like they're getting everyone back together. Palestine Chicken, great episode to watch. Thanks for answering my question. I was thinking the same. It's like R-rated Seinfeld. The Walking motherfucking David. There's secret parentage. Yes, there's the L plus J equals R. Larry plus Jeff equals Richard Lewis. No, or here it is. The R plus J, which is the Richard Lewis plus Jeff, equals J, who's JS, who's Jerry Seinfeld. So, because in real life, what Jeff and Richard Lewis symbolize is Larry's relationship to Jerry. So in the season where Jerry shows up and Jerry's there for most of the season, that's why you don't see so much of Richard and so much Jeff. And that's what it makes sense. It all makes sense. So yes, the deeper meaning of Curb Your Enthusiasm. The Walking David in the live motherfucking chat. Cannot wait for having David on here Sunday night at 10:30 to recap and review the season premiere of the final season. Apparently the final season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. R plus L equals LD sweater jacket. Curb merchandising the iconic LD sweater. I don't have it hooked in that I can bring in a hangout right now, David. Otherwise I would, unless you want to, and I'm sort of starting to wrap up things, so I'll catch up with you on Sunday night. But if you want to leave a voicemail about some of your thoughts, you're more than welcome to. And I will absolutely love to play that. But I don't know, let me, if you want to call on in and we can get you in here for a second. I just don't know if it's going to ring. Let me see if it rings. I'm like, David, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Fuck you. No, the phone should ring when it goes. So if you want to call in for a few seconds, I just can't get you on a hangout right now because I'm doing this via OBS. So I can't just push a button and tap you on in. But the phone line is open. The phone line is open. Oi, the phone line's open. So. Susie, the Queen of Thrones. Is Jeff the prince that was promised? Jeff is the prince that was promised. So let me just go quickly while David's going to call in, and we're going to end things off here with David giving some of his thoughts and hopes for this season of Curb Your Enthusiasm and just some of his thoughts on Curb as a whole. Curb Your Enthusiasm Season 1, Curb actually started with an HBO special that I don't think a lot of people have seen. It isn't in the Curb Your Enthusiasm canon, but it kind of is too. In that Larry has kids. It's a documentary. It's not just a camera being there, like freeform single camera comedy. It's set up like a documentary. Yeah, the 781 number. It's set up like a documentary of Larry going back to stand-up comedy. And it was kind of the pilot episode for Curb Your Enthusiasm too. I think they enjoyed what they did, but they weren't quite there. They asked Larry to do a stand-up special on HBO, and what the fuck? I saw that you called, but it didn't ring. So, but anyways, we had that 1 hour special, and it was the precursor. What the fuck's going on, phone system? Call you one more time. Try it one more time, David. See if it. I refreshed. Let's see if it rings now. Ring now, phone. Sounds for incoming message. Ring for incoming phone call. Okay, so here we go. It should work now, David. I know you're probably leaving a message, but if you hear me, if you can hear me, Obi-Wan David, try the call again. So it all started with that 1 hour special, which HBO, funny enough, doesn't have anywhere on the HBO Go website. I've looked for it on there, and can you hear me, Dave?
Ring for incoming phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we go.
You mute me on the background there. Okay, we got David on the line here. So we started out the first. Have you actually seen this, David? Did you see the 1 hour special that came out before Curb ever started? And it's about Larry doing stand up, and some of the characters for Curb are there, but some of them aren't.
Yeah, I did. By the way, can you hear me okay?
Yep, hear you perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did. His stand-up was fucking hilarious, and, I mean, arguably, I would say that I found his stand-up even funnier than Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up on Seinfeld.
Dude, I agree. I agree. It's so offensive, and so I don't give a fuck that he does this whole bit about like, he does the Jesus' brother bit, or I think he does that. He does something about Hitler too. He does some like Hitler bit too. That's really funny.
Oh, Hitler didn't take any shit from magicians.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what he was.
It's so.
Where is the rabbit?
Yeah, yeah. I want to see where the rabbit is now.
Yeah,
it's very.
It was a wonderful show, but I just want to know where's the rabbit?
No, where is it? It's funny. Have you ever watched, he was the guy who did Mystery Science Theater 3000, Joel Hutchinson, or whatever his name is. His early stand-up, he used to do a bit called Bad Magic, where he was this dude, like a stoner dude. He's like, is this your card? No, it's not your card. Fuck you, it's magic. I don't give a fuck if it's your card. You fucking asshole. It was pretty fucking hilarious. Anyways, well, Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of started there, and in that 1 hour special, and it was filmed a little bit differently. But from that, he got the idea for season one. Season one was more individual stories, but didn't really follow any plot. Season 2 deals a little bit more with him trying to get back to work. It deals with Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in the season a lot while he's putting together a show for her, and ultimately falls apart. And he tries to put together the same show for Jason Alexander, and that falls apart. Season 3 is the restaurant season, where he starts a restaurant, and many people can remember that. Season 4 is the Mel Brooks season, which
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And David, talk a little bit about what happens in season 4 with what happens with Larry and Mel Brooks.
Oh gosh, put me on the spot. I'm so scatterbrained today that I probably wouldn't be able to explain.
Okay, no, I'll do it. I just wanted to pause to take a bite of a sandwich. Sorry about that. It's I tried to set you up to let me take a bite of a sandwich there. Ultimately, Larry gets cast in the role on The Producers as the main actor in The Producers when Mel Gibson goes, "You fucking Jew, I'm gonna put you in The Producers now." Mel Brooks. I caught it. That sandwich bite did me bad. Mel Brooks sees him singing, and he guesses that Larry's someone that can destroy anything, and it's set up like he wants to destroy The Producers, so he casts them. Ben Stiller and Larry share a couple of really fun episodes together where where Ben Stiller plays a complete asshole, and Larry and him go at it. And also we have Ross from Friends. I'm blanking on his fucking name. On an episode as well.
David
Schwimmer, thank you. Season 5, on my rewatch, I was less familiar because I think around 2004 is when I moved and I lost HBO, so I didn't watch Curb. And those first 4 seasons of Curb, were almost like the first section of Curb, and or I would include season 5 into this as well. But season 5, for whatever reason, I just didn't watch as much. It's really good, but I had all the other 4 seasons, shows how old I am, on VHS cassettes, and I just repeated them. And I used to be like, go to my friends' houses and play them for people and be like, "This show, you gotta watch this fucking show." But Season 5 is the Richard Lewis gets very sick and needs a new kidney, and Larry's a match for him. Larry and Jeff are both matches, and they have to decide who's going to give the kidney. And it's just the whole season is based around Larry trying to avoid giving a kidney to Richard Lewis, and Richard Lewis has a family member that's in a coma, and Larry visits him every day hoping he's going to die and shit. It's like, it's really sick. I'd never really seen the season in full, and it gives you a lot of Richard Lewis, which I like because he's one of those undersung heroes.
Yeah, I'll even say just a scene that everybody should see if you haven't mentioned it already. Did you mention the Richard Lewis and the voicemail thing from season 1?
No, that's fucking hilarious. That's fucking great.
It's one of my favorite. It's probably one of the most classic Jewish comedian scenes I think I've ever seen, and it's so great.
It is so.
It's over something so fucking pointless that Richard Lewis accuses Larry David of stealing his outgoing message on his voicemail machine,
and they get into a whole argument about it.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. And Richard Lewis does like that pity thing where he's like, "Oh, listen, I mean, you have success and you have a wife, and my parents, they're dead." And he just goes, your parents
are dead. Oh, died.
You're 95 now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your parents dead. And I love they continue that on. There's the episode where they're helping the blind guy out, and I think it's in season 2 maybe. And and the blind guy's like, yeah, and I lost my wife. And Richard Lewis is trying to relate to him. He's like, yeah, I was an alcoholic and my parents died. It's like the same thing. And Larry goes, it's the same thing, really? Oh, yeah, your parents died. He's blind. Same thing. Oh, same fucking thing. Same fucking thing. Yeah, totally the same. Totally the same fucking thing. It's
also, I don't know if you've seen it, but in season 5, there's another scene. I love these little bit scenes where Larry tries to like kind of fumble through an everyday situation. Like he overanalyzes it to the point where he does something ludicrous and absurd. Like he goes to meet with a Jewish man at a restaurant, like a real like Orthodox Jew, and all he does is he wears the yarmulke, but he doesn't speak a word of Yiddish.
He's just like, yeah, do we? And
so like, and the guy's just like, oh, the one thing I love more than my work and my children, I watch baseball. I shouldn't say that. Oh yeah. And Larry's just going, oh my God, like he's just making. He's making like, I guess you could just call it Jewish noises.
Yeah.
And sorry, guys.
Oh no, that's no. I'm just laughing at it. And then the guy's just like, "What did you just say?" Or is it his daughter or something that ends up calling him out on it later or something? His daughter's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm on this man." He's just kind of like fucking around with it. He's like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what I'm saying here.
Like, what are any? I think he says at one point, like, what are any of us really saying? And they're like, no, like, seriously, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, well, what are you saying? Seriously, what the fuck is going on right here? JB Smooth. Oh, so let's continue back into this and just kind of go through the remainder of the series. Oh fuck! Of course, I went off of the page that I had the list on. Here we go. Okay, so season 5 deals with him and Richard Lewis. Richard Lewis is a great comedian and just one of the classic comedian guys. I actually recently listened to a podcast with him on the Mark Maron podcast, and Richard Lewis is just one of those guys. He's just a lifer. He's just been in it for life, and it's not someone I think about often. Many people just know him from, again, the Mel Brooks movie, the Robin Hood Men in Tights. But Richard Lewis is one of the hardest working stand-up comics out there. He's like always on tour, and he's been working constantly for fucking ever, like back in like way back when and shit. So he's one of those like subtle things I look for. I think he's one of the unsung heroes of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I mentioned this before before you got on, but you see less of it in the season 7. But when Jerry's actually there, but Jeff and Richard play Jerry, essentially. They play like Larry's buddy, the guy he confides in, what Jerry was to him in real life during the making of Seinfeld. So
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no,
I'm sorry.
no.
I think I might be on a bit of a delay. So.
Oh, no worries. So season 6, the season's built around Cheryl persuading Larry to take in a family of homeless people from the Gulf hurricane. And in that family is JB Smoove and Vivica A. Fox, who become main characters of that season. Larry ends up basically having 2 wives with Vivica and Cheryl, and he's basically fulfilling every need of both wives. But through all of it, Cheryl ends up leaving Larry because she gets into a plane crash, like a almost plane crash situation, and she calls Larry from the phone on the plane, and Larry's like with the cable guy who was at the house, and he's trying to get the cable systems fixed. And he's like, I can't really talk to you right now, and he hangs up on her while she's dying on the plane, and she ends up falling in love with the guy next to her on the plane or something like that. So most of that season deals with Larry getting a new family and a changeover of the show. Then we get to season 6. Yes, David.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that, I mean, even have you even seen some of the bloopers from like season 6? It's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like Larry David, he laughs so fucking much at it because even he can't keep a straight face with like having a whole family of black people yelling at him for being racist just because like he had a dog. He brings that dog home and the dog is racist, you know.
Yeah, the
like,
racist dog.
Black
Yeah.
people, and they're like, oh hell no, LD, you got a racist dog.
You got a racist dog. Get that dog out of here. It's fucking great. Oh, great to see K Rich in the chat. Mel, Louie was. Oh, Louie's a great show. Louis K's show Horace and Pete is also very good. Not a comedy, but it's a dark drama. Excellent. Fucking everything Louis C.K. does is fucking excellent. So yeah. So I agree with everything that someone said. Have you ever seen Louis? I have seen Louis. It's fucking amazing. And have I seen Horace and Pete? I've seen a little bit of Horace and Pete, enough to know I need to see more. But I'm like too much bad shit happened in my real life this year. I had to get away from it. But Horace and Pete's definitely a show I'm gonna go back to. It's dark. It's fucking thick, and it has so many awesome actors on it. So. Season 7, it's just like packed. You got fucking Steve Buscemi, Edie Falco, Jessica fucking Lange. Like it's just like bam, Alan Alda. It's just like bam, 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 motherfucker. It's like fuck me in my ass gently right there with all those fucking actors. Anyway, so season 7 rolls around, and season 7 is the season that season 6 was supposed to be, but they couldn't get all the contracts together, which is an interesting thing to me to think, because. I wonder if they would have done the Meet the Blacks storyline with JB and all of that if they were able to do what they wanted. They wanted to do the Seinfeld season in season 6, but everyone's schedules couldn't do, so they had to push it off to 7. So season 7 is based around a Seinfeld reunion that Larry sets up to get Cheryl back. In the first couple of episodes, he breaks up with Vivica A. Fox's character, but tries to break up with JB Smooth's character, but he's never leaving. So JB Smooth's on the show from this point on. He's just Larry's housemate now, and he's just, I'm never leaving. Larry tries to kick him out a couple of times. He's like, no, Larry, you're so funny. I'm not leaving. So you're stuck with me forever. In fact, he goes to New York at another point. JB stirs up in New York. He just follows him everywhere. Anyways, but season 7 deals with the Seinfeld reunion. They get all the Seinfeld main characters back to play significant roles in the season. Michael Richards, Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and Jerry Seinfeld all are like significant roles this season. There's a few episodes that are focused on. There's some other shit that goes on this season too, but it's mainly focused around Larry creating this whole thing to get Cheryl back. And he writes a part in the series as George's wife. But what he doesn't count on is Jason Alexander and him throughout the entire series have a very funny relationship that almost mirrors what the real Kramer probably is like with Michael Richards and what we've heard about Kenny Kramer and how he just like, that's not what Kenny Kramer would really do. I really did that. All that sort of stuff. Larry and Jason Alexander don't get along through the whole series. And David, it's one of my favorite parts of all of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Every time Jason Alexander shows up and they get into the whole, George was a loser. George was an asshole. George was this. And Larry's like, no, George was an asshole. I really did that. I got into a masturbation contest. I did that. I really did. I love the two of them fighting. It's fucking great.
Yeah, well, it's amazing because like Jason Alexander, he does a really good job of pretending to be that kind of asshole actor who is taking your real life experiences and going, but I don't think my character would do that.
Yeah.
Like, and like just adding this. And Larry's like, Don't tell me how it fucking happened. I know exactly how it happened.
It reminds me of how in real life, just because I know you care about this because of the name of your dog, how the real Johnny Drama would be with Kevin Dillon about playing Johnny Drama. He'd be like, and a lot of people don't know there's a real Johnny Drama who tried out to play Johnny Drama in the show, but wasn't a good enough actor. So they said no. And then they cast Kevin Dillon. And so he probably sees, he's like, oh yeah, that's a good Johnny Drama. That's not quite Johnny Drama though. Yeah, I wouldn't do it like that. I wouldn't do it like that. I do it like this. I do it like this. I do it like this. So Larry sort of has that sort of reaction with him. He's never impressed with Jason. And Jason uses this as an example. It all culminates on the read through where Larry gives Jason a pen and Jason starts like sticking the pen in his ass and in his nose and all over different parts of his body. And then he goes to give it back to Larry.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, nah, I don't want the thing. And even Jerry's like, you don't give Jason anything that can be inserted. It's just a funny thing. And then and then Jason continues with that acting thing you were saying, David, where he writes, then it goes into this whole thing where he writes a book called Acting.
Oh god, that's so fucking hilarious. Like when he and Jerry corner him about it, like at the premiere of his book opening.
Acting without acting. So you're not acting. No, you are acting. It is the craft, and you are doing it. And Jerry's just like, oh, so it's acting. It should be called acting with acting. It's a hilarious.
Well, they were talking about the idea of when you insult somebody, and then you say, having said that, and it kind of wipes the slate clean, and then you say a nice thing, and then basically you're a nice person. And they execute it in a really shitty way where basically he's like, oh, so, you're hiding the technique. You're not seeing the actor perform. You're hiding it. And Jerry's like, oh, so you could really just call it acting with acting. That could be a good title, too.
That could be a good
title. Oh, having said that, I think this is a great title.
Yeah, and it's very thin too, so they're like it's actually more of a pamphlet than a book. And they also deal with the Michael Richards situation with JB Smoove, and Michael Richards have like a little interaction to kind of deal with that. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is funny as hell in every moment she's in. It kind of continues on the Seinfeld story. If you're a Seinfeld fan and you like Curb 2, this is the season for you because it brings them both into one universe. Newman shows up, Banyan shows up, George's mother, Frank is significantly missing. And then it all culminates at the end of the season where you actually get to watch like a 10-minute Seinfeld episode where it gets broadcast. But the highlight of the entire season, and maybe the highlight of all of Curb Your Enthusiasm for me, is at one point in all of it, I won't spoil what happens completely in case you do watch because it's funny how it plays out. Jason Alexander has to ultimately quits working on the Seinfeld show. Excuse me. And Larry's like, they're like, what do you do? What do we do? Fucking Jason left. It's Jerry goes on probably one of his best acting things ever. For Jerry, he's just like, what the fuck's going on? You screwed this all up, Larry. Everyone's out. You can't do this show without Jason. There's no show without Jason. And Larry's like, well, I'll do it. And Jerry's like, you're not an icon. You're an idiot. You're nobody. He goes, I'm an icon. Michael's an icon. Julie's an icon. He was an icon. You're no con. No con. In that horrible Jerry Seinfeld delivery. No con. No con. And so Larry,
you're no one.
You're no one. You're nothing. Exactly, dude. And then Larry goes, just let me play George once. Just let me do him once, just once. So of course they give at least me what I've always been saying, like since you start watching Curb, that at least me and my group of friends, like, were just at first, well, did Larry ever think about playing? I think this was an answer to that. And Larry showed you why he never could have played George. And then Larry comes out doing Larry David playing George Costanza. Whoa, George is getting mad. George is getting mad. He's basically doing like a Steinbrenner voice with George. And it's fucking so bad. And they're all just... the reactions of everybody cut to him quitting and walking out and ultimately going to get Cheryl back, but fucking it all up in the end because Cheryl doesn't respect Wood. So that's...
That's a great reference.
It is. It's perfect.
I love that you watch this. Like, you watch it and you have even more knowledge about it than I fucking do.
I just rewatched it. I just rewatched all of Curb, so it's like fresh in the mind.
What sucks for me is, like, when I first was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, like, I watched, I think, the first 3 or 4 seasons because at the time I had HBO, and then I moved and didn't have it for, like, years. So I wasn't able to really keep up on it for a while. So I had to start getting into it by going back and watching clips and stuff like that. And then around season 6 and 7, I came back. So similar to you, I kind of missed season 5.
Yeah, and
I had to kind of go back and find it through other means.
Sail pirate waters or something like that. So how the racist dog was another instant classic episode, says Ian. Louis was great. Louis is awesome. I won't spoil it, but you're gonna need to hug a puppy afterwards. Phil, do you watch Disjointed, or as I call it, under sandwich? I've not watched it. Allie can't super chat from Spain. It still means a lot that you wanted to, Allie. We do have some ways that you can donate if you're dead set on it. If not, I love you anyways, and huge go hug yourself to you, and the good will hug yourself, Allie, for wanting to. Phil asks, Deontay Washington says, hey, Phil, which Star Trek series would you recommend? Not a legit trekking. I'm on the sidelines just checking it out. I would start watching probably Wrath of Khan would be the first thing I would watch. If you're not a Trekkie and you want to get into Star Trek, then I would start watching some Next Generation episodes, a few here and there, some of the highest rated Next Generation episodes on IMDb or something like that, because you can watch Next Generation episodes without watching previous ones. So I'd watch things like Yesterday's Enterprise, Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2 could work. A couple of other episodes people could suggest in the live motherfucking chat, or just look at some of the highest rated episodes. I wouldn't start with Voyager, Deep Space Nine, or the new series, or the new movies. New movies would be all right too, but you might be convinced Trek is something that it's not, and then be disappointed by the rest of Trek. So I would rather you kind of maybe watch one of the older movies to get introduced to the original cast. I'd skip Star Trek 1, start with Star Trek 2. A great Seinfeld impression. I'm not sure if that was me or you they were talking about, probably you. Cardinal Doomsday, one of the weirdest things I ever saw in Trek was George's mother in an episode of Voyager. Yes, she is in an episode of Voyager. The first 8 Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes are also on Amazon Prime until the middle of 2018. DS9 or The Next Generation. Deep Space Nine, I guess you could watch individually because it's an individual story amongst itself. It's just not necessarily indicative of all other Star Trek because it's not exploratory. It's more set in one location with people coming to them. I think it's the finest of all the series, and it's the best for the way you're used to watching television now. But I still think Next Generation is the conduit you need to go to get there. I think you need to see Picard and Data and all of that before you watch Deep Space Nine to truly appreciate it. But anyways, so season 8 of Can You Become a Patron in Europe? I'm doing it from Greece. You can become a patron in Europe. Brainwash is doing it from Greece. Measure of a Man's another great episode, early TNG episode that's good. That's the episode where Data is on trial for being human or being a sentient being. So that's definitely to introduce what kind of world we live in. The only problem with that is Pulaski's there too, but I think she works in an anti-Data episode because of how anti-Data she is, especially that one. Sorry, David. So here we go. We continue to season 7 of Sunday will just be a curb discussion. Also, I just got a report, and they may not want me to share it, but I do want to send love out to Katie Crow and Joe Dirty Locks. Katie Crow was in a car accident last night. She is perfectly fine, healthy, probably a little shooken up, but Joe Dirty Locks Joe Dirty Locks' car is dead, so we can say a prayer for Joe Dirty Locks' car, and wondering how a bird could be flying a car. But no, seriously, glad Katie is all right if she happens to be watching this, and huge hug from myself and David.
Yeah, I'm about to say much love for Joe and Katie. I had no idea that they were in a car accident.
Yeah, Joe just texted me. Must be like watching and knowing that I was on and stuff. And I tried to catch up with them a little bit this week, so I am sending love out to Joe and Katie and hope they're both doing well. And it fucking sucks to fucking I've been in a bunch of car accidents and they fucking suck. Just to be in it can shake you shake your mind. You're just like fuck. For a few days afterwards, it's like you saw a fucking ghost or some shit. Here we go, and let's continue talked about the most recent season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry remains single after his divorce. He gets a really shitty lawyer that he fires a good lawyer played by Paul F. Tompkins because he sees him. He sees him on a bike.
He got sweeted.
Oh yeah, he got sweeted. Paul F. Tompkins like pretends to be a Jew or something like that because he's a lawyer, and then he sees him. What's he see him rollerblade? Like what's he see him in some weird situation? So he's embarrassed by him or something, and then he finds out that he's pretending to be a Jew, and then he hires this other guy in a restaurant that argues his bill, that ends up fucking him over and loses out on another deal, a production deal or some shit happens. And Larry's forced to go to New York to keep a lie up with actually it's Chuck from Michael McKean wants him to donate time to a charity, so Larry lies and moves to New York just so he doesn't have to donate any money to the charity. It's like, and most of this season spends its time in New York City. It's kind of a change of location for the season, and there's not much to say about the season. Otherwise, it's really, really funny. It culminates in a couple of really high points. A lot of people remember the final episode of the season, which is a great episode, versus Michael J. Fox, the Larry versus Michael J. Fox episode, where Michael J. Fox just constantly proves why he's still one of the funniest people on earth, no matter what's going on with his health. It's like, wait, are you shaking or is that a Parkinson's shake? Larry, I shake. It's Parkinson's. And they just get into this whole
I
thing.
also love that they clearly make it seem like he's totally using his Parkinson's to like get back at Larry. So like Larry's totally right, but he has such a good reputation that nobody would ever believe Larry that Michael J. Fox is fucking with him.
Yeah, and that's like the overall
via
theme.
Parkinson's.
Yeah, that's the overall theme of the whole thing too. It's of the whole episode, almost the tone of the whole season, that Larry is fucked. Larry's Walter in some ways from The Big Lebowski. He's right, but he's an asshole. And in so many situations, it's like, Larry, you're right, but you're being an asshole. And with Michael J. Fox, he's so right, but no one sees it. And Michael J. Fox is just being a cock to him. He's like giving him a finger, and he's just like, he's doing all this shit. He's like, no, Larry, I swear, it's the Parkinson's. It's the Parkinson's. Really?
Hey, he has the same thing with Rosie O'Donnell in the season because, like, it's weird. They try to have like a friendship off. They keep trying to like top each other on like who's more courteous and stuff like that. And he's just like, oh yeah, well I'll take you out to a really nice dinner. She's like, no, fuck that. I'm going to fly your whole family out, and you're going to come over to my house. And I don't know why Rosie O'Donnell also sounds like Larry David, but she's like, yeah, no, you're coming over to me. And then he's like, no, I'm going to fly your whole family, your aunts and your cousins, they're all going to come out on me. And it's about like a baseball team. Like they're also playing each other in some sort of league, like baseball league. And I don't know. It's fucking insane. Like the matches that he has with him and like Ted Danson in that same episode, where they're like yelling in a restaurant about like how he doesn't want to eat a piece of pie that Ted Danson got him.
Yeah, that he took because he touched it or something like that. Yeah, I love all that. And that's what I was saying this before you got on. What's great about Curb is a lot of people give this credit to something like South Park, or even though I'm not the biggest fan, something like Family, like just not giving a fuck, but you don't even realize, like, especially when people say, oh, it's Seinfeldian. It is Seinfeldian, but it's also something else. It's someone not holding Larry back, not telling Larry no what he can do. So he makes he just has this fun shit happen, and they just go to places you're just not expecting it to go, and they make you laugh in a way that feels not wrong, but it feels like you laugh in the wrong places sometimes on Curb. You're like, oh my God, are they really doing this? Oh shit. Are they really having Larry have a conversation with a girl, with a little 12-year-old trying to put a tampon on for the first time? Like she just had her period. There's this whole scene, and I think it's in the most recent season, but it could be where Larry has Julia Louis-Dreyfus's, no, it's not. I forget whose daughter comes by or something. It might be someone's daughter. And I think it's the guy from HBO's daughter or something like that. And she ends up coming by to sell Girl Scout cookies. And she like has her first period in his living room, and she like runs into the bathroom freaking out. And Larry ends up like running upstairs and getting her a tampon, and then has to explain to her like graphically how to put in a tampon. It's just like a really uncomfortable moment that makes you feel uncomfortable, but the whole look at it is so fucking funny though. Or when the blind guy to date the Muslim woman that's wearing the mask so he can't see her and shit like that. Just like random shit that he just like puts out there that just is fucking funny. And it just shows you, and there's no holding back on what he goes for in that early South Park way of like, there's no sacred cow for Larry. He just attacks everything, including himself, especially himself. Fucking great. Corey Mitchell wants to.
People are saying.
Yeah,
I was reading that too about how he wants me to do Larry David awkwardly talking with Littlefinger. I think it'd be just like, you need to come with me to the Riverlands, and he'd just be like, I don't think so.
pretty good. Now, how are the Riverlands doing this year? Oh, they're pretty. Go ahead. Pretty.
How's Highgarden doing on its grain? Pretty good. Pretty good.
See, I don't care about copyright. I have to get the Curb Your Enthusiasm sound effects for our podcast. Like we need to be able to play those at different times in the podcast. Like even if I do it, even if I have to do it with my mouth. Wait, hey. I don't want to hear about what David and I are doing when we finally get together, what I'm going to be doing with my mouth, but that's a different story for a different podcast, David. The chef with Tourette syndrome is priceless. So coming into season 9, as we're going into, in June 2014, June 14th, 2016, it was announced that Larry David would be returning for the 9th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm after a 5-year hiatus. He announced his return in the immortal words of Julius Caesar: "I left, I did nothing, I returned." In addition to David, Jeff Garland, Cheryl Hines, Susie Essman, JB Smoove, Bob Einstein, Richard Lewis, Ted Danson, Mary's going to be back too. And guest stars announced for the season include Bryan Cranston, Lauren Graham, Jimmy Kimmel, Nick Offerman, Elizabeth Banks, Elizabeth Banks, Ed Bagley Jr., Kerry Brownstein, Nazim Pedrad, Elizabeth Perkins, June Diane Raphael, Casey Wilson, Andrea Savage, Damon Wayans, awesome, Steven Weber, Katie Asselson, and Judge Judy. Wait, Judge Judy? But yes, fucking Damon Wayans, awesome. Damon Wayans is going to be on this season. That should be fun.
Hey, the way I like to think of Curb, if you've never watched it before, a good way to prime yourself for a random episode is when you're watching it, anytime a comedian or someone who you notoriously go see comedies that they've done or stand-up that they've done, count on it being extremely awkward and tense. And anytime they are serious and dramatic, something goofy and retarded is going to happen to them.
Yeah. And always
the way it goes.
And always expect Larry by the end of the episode to get into some ridiculous fight with somebody and be in the right on the conversation 90% of the time, but no one gives a fuck. And they're just ultimately telling Larry to shut up. Or people are agreeing. I love in the Shaq episode when he ends up busting the doctor for cheating at categories and he gets on Shaq's side. He kind of turns around the situation and everyone loves him because everyone hates him. So he's so happy because he broke Shaq's foot. So great stuff. And anything specific or just in general, what are you looking forward to most for season 9 of Curb Your Enthusiasm, David?
Oh, honestly, I'm hoping that the best part about Seinfeld and also with continuing into Curb Your Enthusiasm is that they would always acknowledge things that every one of us had thought about but could never put it in quite that way, and it just made it even funnier to where it's like, like with Seinfeld, the close talker, the low talker, the noisy neighbor, the crazy ex-girlfriend, these tropes, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, you got the walk and talk and how you're only allotted 15 seconds. And if you go longer than that, it's a conversation.
The call cutoff time. The call cutoff time. And no call, not cutoff. Yeah, 9:30. No,
I want more of those. Yeah. And because I love seeing Larry just basically creating these tropes and these standard, like societal standards. Because no joke, after I watched Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm, it shapes your worldview. Because if you enjoyed the show and you agree with Larry, which you and I typically do, it's like, yeah, that is how I view it. And from that episode on, we use it in our vocabulary, and that's how we talk to people, and we apply these rules that we heard from Larry on the show.
Yep. And that,
at least I know I do.
Absolutely. And I would go a step further and say that and I think what's great about Curb Your Enthusiasm more than Seinfeld, because Seinfeld's still a sitcom when it comes down to it. And I love Seinfeld, but you're coming at things mostly from Jerry's perspective in Seinfeld, sometimes from Kramer's, from all the core four, but ultimately it's the sensibility of Jerry and Larry together. And Jerry's a little bit more of a people pleaser than Larry is. And I think the hotbed of Seinfeld is the merging of those two. And with Curb, it's the I don't give a fuck, as someone said in the live chat. But also, I would say with what you were saying about Larry and about me agreeing with Larry and you agreeing with Larry, also what Curb does more than Seinfeld does is it puts you in Larry's shoes. It makes so many people say, I'm Larry David in that situation. I've heard so many people say, no, I'm Larry. No, I'm Larry David. It's so many people feel like that awkward person. Early episodes, like when he gets himself kicked out of the dinner party because he won't take off his shoes. I've been that person and getting yelled at by the host. And then you have to go back in because you forget someone and do the double goodbye. That's another Curb thing from an early Curb thing. That you want me to double goodbye those people? You want me to try the second goodbye in there? Or what's also fun about Curb just as a whole, watching it and rewatching it, you can see the birth of the technological situation that we live in. Early Curb, like the first season, you see Larry using GPS for the first time and car phones and shit like that and learning all that. Then you see the development into cable with 9 remote controls, and there's a whole episode that deals with cell phones and everyone getting the cell phone that cuts out so you can't hear shit. That's like a significant episode's about that. And then that proceeds into, with like you see that rise of technology where it's kind of weird to you watch early Curb, you're like, oh, this seems really dated, but it's, it's within 20 years or something like that. It's interesting. But what I'm hoping for... Yes, Dan?
Oh, sorry.
No,
go
go for it. Go for it.
No, I really do want you to tell.
See what happened there now. This is totally a Seinfeld moment or a Curb moment. We double fucked each other because of us both being polite. Neither one of us wanting to be an asshole in that moment. I bet we both lost our train of thought because I did. Do you remember what you wanted to say?
I think so. I'll go with mine.
Yeah, go with yours. Go with yours. Do it. Take the lead.
What I think is another thing that I'm sure you're probably also looking forward to is my favorite part about Curb Your Enthusiasm are not even just like the overall arcing stories that kind of, I would say like every 2 or 3 episodes, they retouch on what the arc of the season is supposed to be, like the Seinfeld, like making of the Seinfeld reunion and stuff like that. But then they have these great little pocket episodes where it's just like, Larry kills a swan, and that's literally the premise of the show. Like there's nothing else. It's just Larry kills a swan on the golf course. He shouldn't have killed it because the golf course was named after that swan or something, Yeah,
and then he gets kicked out. Yeah.
It's just so stupid and absurd, but that it happened and it probably has happened to someone, or maybe it even happened to him. And this is like, the show is a great way for Larry to get out a lot of his like everyday life stresses. And that's the thing, is that Larry David's character, the exaggerated version of himself in the show, says what we all want to say. Like when you thank the person at dinner who actually pays for it, but the wife's like, oh, thank me too. And he's like, why would I thank you? You didn't pay for anything. Like, because he said in real life he doesn't do that because he's not a crazy person.
Yeah, he says it's just a highlighted, like an enhanced version of who he really is, but it's not the real him. It's not the real him, and I've seen that a little bit in in my brief interaction with him, which is very brief, being an extra on the set. And he would talk to all of us, and he I talked to him for 5 minutes afterwards, where I cornered him, where I followed him out. I snuck out the room where everyone was doing, and went out the back exit where I knew it cut off around where the trailers were, and I sprinted around to bump into him. Hey Larry, thanks so much for allowing me to be an extra on your set. I wanted a quick conversation with him, and he was real quiet and real well, thank you very much, And then I sort of I made a joke, and he Larry David me for a second. He at least responded to it. I said, I have long hair. You want long hair? I forget what I said, but it wasn't funny, and it was nervous and sweaty and shit. And he gave me a look like that, and then he walked off. So I at least got I got a look. It was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I'm like, I talked to Larry David. Hi, Larry David. Thank you. I have hair. You want some of my hair? No, he said nice hair, and I said, oh, you want some? You can have it. I'll give you a transplant or something like that. And he goes, something like that.
Hey, it's same thing. It's weird because you got to. I didn't even know you got to be an extra on that show. Man, that's a whole discussion.
No, it was not in the show. It was Clear History, the movie. It was that horrible movie.
Clear History.
Yeah, that it was on in the scene where they're at the Chicago concert. You can briefly see me in the crowd of people rolling by. There's a scene where he's at a bar, and if you look in the back corner of Larry David's face, I'm an idiot walking by. So you can see me for a friend of mine. Hey, it's something. Hey, it's something. I got to meet him.
It is something. My IMDb is full of little things where I was like, across the street, straight out of Compton. That's my career so far.
Hey, David. I'm
an actor.
I was gonna say I'm dependent on you getting more credits on that to get me more credits. So come on, dude, come on, fucking keep making movies.
Hey, I'll say this: I can get you if you were really on the set. I can make an IMDb page for you. We'll put Clear History as your first thing.
Yeah, extra concert goer at Clear History. I'll show it to you. I'll get you a screenshot. Phil, you should totally insert that picture of Walking David into your family photos. Here we are at the Grand Canyon with Walking David. Larry David is possibly the best professional malcontent. Why can't I get paid to be a malcontent, says Cardinal Doomsday. GoFundMe and Patreon make that possible, Cardinal Doomsday. Yes, I have too much conscience to even consider that iron. Larry David then gentleman curtsied me and offered me a cup of tea, says Corey Mitchell. That movie was hilarious. So yes, you can see me for a brief moment in the, and I'm also in a couple of scenes in Clear History. One of my other friends is a lot more visible in that scene. Like, he's right next to Larry David, and he's that guy in this extra scene that's like looking at the camera. He's like, he's like, hey guy, what's up? Like you flash onto the scene, he's eye fucking the camera, like, hey. You can see me kind of in the back.
Hey, what I was gonna say is that it's crazy because you worked with, technically, Larry David, and I was an extra, like a featured extra in a movie here in Oklahoma called Home Run, and Vivica A. Fox was like the leading lady of it. And I actually have a picture of me with Vivica Fox from the set where I'm dressed like a baseball player.
Nice.
Who was like walking around the locker room, and she comes in and she like talks to the lead. And
so our name
cool.
Our name drops have fucked on TV. Our name drops have been boyfriend girlfriend on TV. That's awesome.
That is cool.
That's some power. So David, I can't wait. David will be back with us at 10:30, live in the flesh, or not live in the flesh. Like, he's not going to fly to Boston to do a fucking podcast with me, but he is going to be here visually. We'll have him on the live hangout on Sunday evening to talk some more Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can't wait, David. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and don't worry, guys. I'll be brushed up on my curbisms by the time we do it. So.
You did pretty awesome, and we can't make that eye contact that's also important on when too loud people interrupt each other. So we're talking right now like you're on the phone this whole time. This has been awesome. So next time we actually can look at each other so we can feel beats and stuff like that.
Sounds good to me, man. I look forward to it.
See you later, buddy.
All right, catch you later, dude.
So that's the Walking David. He will be with us this Sunday. So I'm just going to start to wrap things up. Which episode can we find you in? It's not an episode. It's the movie, the HBO movie Clear History. If you watch the concert scene very closely and look in the background, you will be able to see my stupid ass for like 3.2 seconds, something like that, or not even, like a 1 second walk by or something. But and I think you can see me maybe in a second scene too, in the background in the crowd, when you can see me from the concert stage. I'm one of the concert goers. So yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I watched it. I'm trying to remember what I was wearing, but my hair's down. Excuse me. And I look awkward. I look awkward. Very awkward. I look like I am an extra in a movie. That's what I look like. But yes, you can see that if you're curious. If you want to see that, it's on HBO Go. Clear History. And yeah, I got to meet all the actors that were working on that. They were all really cool, minus one of them that was kind of bitchy. But whatever. I have to concede the truth of that iron. The last Bowie album I bought, Scary Mobsters, back in the day. The Swan episode was hilarious too. Insane Bowie fan. I think the 2000 albums are the best ever. Everything he did is awesome, and he just continuously got better and better. Fucking love David Bowie. He's one of the best musicians of all time, or best songwriters, not musicians. I mean, if I'm talking about virtuoso musician, that's not, he's one of the best songwriters of all time and one of the best musical acts. Like, his songs just fucking mean so much to me. She Blew Chicago. Much love to everybody. So on that note, thank you so much for joining me for this random stream. It ended up being a little bit about Game of Thrones, a little bit about Star Trek in Orville, and a little bit about Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know if I'm probably just going to keep the title as the Friday Feedback Show. I know that won't necessarily give it tons of hits, but I don't really give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about talking to you guys on a Friday afternoon and having fun. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Thank you, David, for popping on in. Thank you to everyone in the live motherfucking chat. Have an awesome weekend. I'll be back on Sunday evening at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about Curb Your Enthusiasm. And so David and I can talk for 2 hours about a half an hour show. So it's happening. Love you guys. Talk to you guys next time. If you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend. And touch it. Touch it. Taste it. Do I start these at a certain time every Friday? I'd say I generally do, but it's a fluctuating time. I know that's a horrible answer. I'd say I start them anywhere from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays till 1 o'clock in that period of time. But generally speaking, I start them at 11 or 12. I would say consistently, if you look at the start times, I think most of them have been right around 12 o'clock. I hate to say a certain time because then I feel locked into it, and then I'm awake and ready to go, and I'm like, I have to wait 2 hours and I have nothing else to do. Or then I'll go do something and then I'll come back and I'll be too tired to podcast or something like that, and I'll be just a little, hey guys, it's time to do a show. So generally speaking, it's in this mid-afternoon, early afternoon time period. Live long and prosper, everybody. I know I could split the Curb part into it, but I'm going to be doing lots of Curb content, and I might just put in parentheses after the title, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, Curb Enthusiasm discussion or something like that. Or Freeform Friday. I don't know how I'm going to fucking title this shit. I don't know how I'm going to thumbnail this shit. I don't know what the fuck's going to go on with that stuff, but it doesn't matter, and you guys don't care about that crap. But no, thank you to everyone that joined me. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it with a friend. Join us every single time we go live if you make sure you hit that notification button. And also, another way that you can help us, as well as the Super Chat, the Patreon, the PayPal donations, all the ways that you guys can help the channel grow, or some of our affiliate links that we have below, is our new Amazon link. Excuse me. With the help of Ian and Timo and Analysis, we figured out that all you need to do, is shop with the link. The products don't need to be on the page. So please look in the comment section or the description box of this video and pop that into your little like search thing. And every time you use Amazon, use that link, and it helps the channel a very little bit. You know, we get 2 cents here, 3 cents here, but it all adds up. And it's another way. If you use Amazon for your shopping, please use our link. And our link is amazon.com/shop/TheIssuesGuy. Again, that's amazon.com/shop/TheIssuesGuy. Ian's probably going to be sharing it in the description, in the motherfucking chat right now. Copy paste that shit, and every time you use Amazon, just start shopping with our link. Start on my horrible page with my fun little toys. And you don't have to buy anything on my toys page, which still doesn't necessarily go to me, but if you start your shopping there, it's just another way of helping out. Try to get used to doing it. So in the holiday season, start spreading it. Be like, hey, fucking person that doesn't even like Phil's podcast, why don't you start shopping with this link? Shop with this link. You shop this link. And you shop with this. Because 2 cents equals fucking 10 cents eventually. And then I can eventually buy a can of SpaghettiOs and eat. So no, thank you to everyone that's been using my Amazon links so far. It's been fucking awesome watching that. And I can spy on what you guys buy. No, but I don't get any names, so I don't know what it is. Buy fucking Peter Griffin condoms. I don't give a shit for the well-adjusted man. I don't care what you buy. Obviously, the more expensive, the better. But no, thank you everyone that's been sharing the links and helping out with that stuff. But that's just another way of helping out for people that aren't in a position to be able to help donate or for Super Chat or PayPal or Patreon or anything like that. Any little bit helps, as well as just watching, sharing the videos and stuff like that. But gotta try. I have people on my ass be like, Phil, gotta do it. Stephanie's like, Phil, promote this shit now. But everyone, I'll talk to you next time. Motherfuckers, good night. Put it as a still in my buy Amazon shop at Phil the Issues Guy. Buy the craziest thing so Phil will look at it when he reports. Curb the Thrones. Call this video Curb of Thrones. The star Curb of Thrones. Thanks, Phil. Cool. I'll set the alarm so I won't hold you to those times, dude. See you. Much love. Put it as a still on my podcasting page. I should do that. Put it as part of my picture on my podcasting image and stuff. Or put it also on part of my my tower thing, my channel trailer thing. Channel art. I couldn't think of the word art. I made it through a whole podcast trying to think of words, and the word art slips my ass up. But I will. Everyone, thank you so much for doing that shit. I will. I'll try to find it. I gotta find the movie. I gotta find my my single image of that. I'm gonna have to like turn on the movie on HBO Go and do like a capture device sort of situation, I think. But because I don't think it's I'm visual in any of the prime shots. But I'll look around. I will definitely look around and hopefully have that by Sunday. Have a still image of that for so we can share our dick crossing of our cameo appearances. I'm going to call them cameos instead of... I'm going to call them cameos, David. Don't tell anybody. Extra's just like a partial cameo person from someone that you don't know is a star. So we're fucking stars. Fucking A, motherfucker. Talk to you guys next time. Bye. No, play this song. I want to play this one. Yep, the Amazon link is in the description of every video from now on, every newer video. If you go down to the Help Us section, you will be able to find the link. So find it there.
Concrete dream, better than reality. Torture the generation to the lost society. Wondering and wishing are two separate issues. Push out away for a bit the issue. Grieving your sin when you're waiting your hope. Drifting in your wishing your mind too cold. Drifting with your mind too cold. Cope with these issues. Soul. Feeling tired, burnt out, out of control. Your mind wants to fly, that your body lies on the earth forever. So relate me here, just for a second. Gotta stop, pause, try to section. Keep to my bones and my words sewn and try to...
Almost, mostly goofy. That could be the subtitle of my book. Phil, mostly goofy, almost sexy. And thank you, Miss Fusspants Chicago.
Voice inside a freak, Vaseline message, masturbation peak, spitting for the rear, heading for a cover, rubbing up against me is better than another. Keep the foot locked, locks against the door. The minute you let me, my mind's a whore. Going up inside you, going all night. Yeah, that's right, bitch too tight. Scream to stop, stop in a run. Instead of having fun, I said wait till I come. Know it hurts, know it burns. Know you need me learn these words. I know you need me learn these words.
fuckers. Well, I can't even stop the show. I can't even stop the show at the right fucking time. I have hair in my face. I'm a fucking mess. I'm jumping around like a fucking idiot. Love you guys.